Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 144 people in 11 different countries. And the theme for this set of 2 healings, as well as the previous set that we did this month, is strong boundaries. And today we will have an extra big theme as well, an additional big theme, which is take back your knowledge. So I will explain all that. Thank you for the confirmation. Woohoo! Let me know if you can see and hear me okay if you want. You can let me know where you're viewing from if you want, what the weather's like. I'm here in Olympia, Washington, in the Pacific Northwest of the United States, and it is pretty out. Probably a perfect gardening day. I would imagine. It's probably about, I'm going to say it's maybe about 70 degrees out. Very mild and sunny and a little bit breezy. So can't complain. Let's see. So let's get right into talking about what we're going to do today. Okay. So, like I said, we'll be working strong boundaries, so strong energy boundaries with people, with invasive beings, with family members, you know, just so you can be you and have your space and live your life without getting crushed or overwhelmed or whatever. Just, you know, be strong, have your boundaries. So, the triplet set that we did this month already on strong boundaries, they're all going to be in the same playlist, which is linked in the info section of this live stream. All 5 healings from this month. And we did do a lot already in the triplet set, but today we're gonna, so like for example, in the second healing of the triplet set this month, we did take back your dreams, meaning take back your goals, like ideas of what you want to accomplish, because oddly enough, like there are people that will take them out of your space, like they can take the energy of it and it kind of dulls it in your mind, and you're a lot less likely to make it happen. So that's odd that people would even think of doing that, but it is true. They don't do it on purpose, usually like consciously. It's just maybe consciously they feel a little envy or insecurity or competitiveness or malevolence, whatever they feel, what spiritually that's they're doing. They're just kind of, you know, if they can get in your space to do it in the first place. So, but there's always good news with energy healing. You can take it back. So we already did that in the second healing of the triplet set this month, and you could do that chapter if you want. You know, go back on that video and do it. But today we'll do take back your knowledge, which is like learning information that you've gained from your life experiences, things you've figured out in this life and past lives. Same thing, people can take them again for the same twisted reasons. And again, mostly subconsciously they would be doing that. But it can make you less able to, you know, solve issues, less logical, less, you know, all sorts of things. So we can take back your knowledge. And it could have been taken in a past life even. So it's like long gone. But that's okay. It's you can still take it back. So that's good. So there's that. That's taking back your knowledge, right? So that was explaining Take Back Your Knowledge. Later within a day, there will be little video chapters that you can click on to hop around and listen to different segments of this live stream. So that's that. That's Taking Back Your Knowledge, which we will do today, which is quick and easy to do. Takes longer to explain, like I just did, than it does to do. So that's the good news. There's one thing we're going to repeat. So clearing perception distortion blocks, it's super cool to do. It's something that you probably might not realize that you need to do, because if your perception is distorted, you know, it's hard to realize that you're perceiving things in a distorted way. Other people around you might know that you're doing it. It's much easier to see when someone else is doing it. But if it's in your own mind, it's like you just think of things a certain way, and that's the way it is, right? You know, so it's a fascinating thing to do, and it does help you. I've seen this actually in myself. I laugh because my husband and I joke about it. In the past, I like being bold, and I'm very stubborn, and so, but also partially because how I was raised, I in the past many times have done things the hard way for no good reason at all. So lately I have seen that I'm not doing that in times when in the past I would have. Now I'm actually figuring out, you know, and it is not really hurting my brain to do it either, you know. So I think this is what's been helping, this clear perception distortion blocks, where you know, my mind would just automatically leap to like the hardest way to do something, and I'd end up doing it that way, you know. And but now I think of the hardest way still, but it's like it's one of several options, and then I'm like, that one's way easier, you know, and so I'll do it the easy way, you know. So that's a big change. Like, for example, I think I've mentioned this before though, but not in this context of like the easy way maybe, or clearing perception distortion blocks, where in our garden, my garden in the front yard, our front yard, there are times when the garden goes into shade pretty early in the evening, like 5:30, half the garden's in shade. By 6:30, the whole garden's in shade, because we have very tall trees on the west side. So then the sun falls below those giant trees way before. They're not on our property, those trees. We have huge trees here, but anyway, so we start getting all the shade, and it's daylight, and you can still do so much gardening and not be, you know, have the sun beating down on you. And so there will be days now where I'll just garden earlier maybe, but then I'll just stay inside for those, you know, peak sunshine beating down on the garden hours, and just go out in the shade, you know. And it just never occurred to me. Like I would just brute force it, you know, in like the beating sun, and then I'd be exhausted. So then by the time the garden's in the shade, I am too tired and I'm inside already. It's like, but this year it's just been like, you know, like, oh, of course, you know, I'm going to time it. I'm going to, you know, and it's still not perfect. You know, I end up waiting too long, and then I don't have as much time as I would have, but you know, I'm getting there. So anyway, that it's a really good thing to do. I recommend that people try it, even if you think, well, I perceive everything just fine. Alrighty. Okay, so fake angels are a thing, which is wild but true. So people can lie, right? And also spirits can lie. And so on a conscious or a subconscious level, if you're not consciously able to, perceive spirit, but spirits can lie. And so angels aren't going to lie unless, it's really in your best interest for them to, lead you a certain way, to like protect you from yourself or something. But invasive beings are for sure going to lie if it's going to help them. And so there are plenty of invasive beings that pretend to be benevolent and helpful and even pretend to be your angels when they're really not. It's actually really easy to get rid of them though, permanently, because you just say angels. And when you say angels, your real angels hear you. Like, if you say it just with your thought, even, that's plenty loud. You don't have to say it out loud, with your loud, regular voice. Just say it with your mind's voice, your telepathy. But you say angels, and then all your real angels are listening. And then you say, can you please recycle my fake angels, any fake angels? And then they get to work doing that. But if you don't know that, then you just like naively sort of working with these spirits that you think are benevolent angels, but they're like tricking you or like not fully clearing out your space or whatever. And, so it's a good thing to do periodically, just to make sure that you didn't let in any, you didn't, you haven't met and been deceived by any clever spirits. Because it's easy for it, it's easy for a being that doesn't have a body to appear any way it wants. So it can appear, and give you an image. Oh, this is what I look like. This is what I look like. And, they'll just find some image that you're comfortable with, potentially. So anyway, so we're going to recycle fake angels. I think that if you've never done it before, it's certainly important. And even if you do it every now and then, it's good to do that. So it's super quick, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously, but it's super quick and easy. So that's one thing we'll do. So this is something that we have done before also, but not many times. And if you've never done it before, it is great to know about, I think. So you have an astral body and you also have an astral-astral body, which is a ridiculous name, but for some reason I do like ridiculous names because they make me laugh. So what I mean by that is, okay, so you're not your physical body, right? So you have your physical body, which is not you, right? But it's yours. It's important, really, really important. So you want to be fully present in your physical body, right? When you're awake. But then you have the part that's you. And part of the part that's you is the part of you that can be fully present in your physical body, ideally. And that part of you comes and goes when you go to sleep. That part of you goes to the astral when your physical body's asleep. And if you wake up, that part of you coming back. And if you have trouble coming back, then it's like you feel kind of groggy when you wake up. So that's your astral body, the part of you that can, come in. And you and your angels create an astral body for yourself that looks however you want. So your astral body could have bigger boobs, or could have a washboard stomach that you don't physically have, or, you know, a nice perky butt or whatever. But of course, that's not the main point of the astral body. It's just kind of a funny thing. I get sidetracked. But anyway, so that's your astral body, okay? And without your astral body, you'd just be this big, awesome ball of light, which, you know, it's not as useful. You're trying to be present in your physical body. So anyway, that's your astral body. It's a form that you use, and then you're in your physical body with your astral body. Your astral body is in your physical body if you're fully present, right? So, but there's a part of you as a spirit, probably a couple parts of you that never come into your physical body when you're awake. And one of the major one of those that we deal with is the astral body. And it's the version of you that's always on the astral. And it also looks like, you know, physical form, arms, legs, all that good stuff. But that part of you is always on the astral, right? That's your astral body. And, you know, maybe someday I'll find a less ridiculous name for it, but it amuses me at this point. So, just because I don't like all those people that try to be like, oh, I'm a, you know, blah, 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 super master, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, I don't know. So I try to be silly. But anyway, so your astral body is always up there on the astral, even when you're here and awake, you know. And so that's probably the most important reason why you want to be in safe astral locations, because it means that part of you is always on the astral. So that part of you can be in like a sort of like a bad neighborhood, you know, like a dangerous to you neighborhood, you know, like, you know, so what is that on the astral? It can just be like a location where, you know, your people that you have arguments with are there arguing, you know, and there's energy, that kind of invasive energy there that perpetuates the conflicts. Oops, sorry. Or it could be an astral location where people are having a lot of political arguments and really like being aggressive with each other energetically, you know, or astral locations that are positive, you know, that are picked for you by the angels. And maybe, you know, it's like just a vibration that's much more conducive to your creativity, or your, you know, repairing your energy, or, you know, intuition, whatever, you know. So you can have your angels pick a safe astral location for your astral body at any given time. And so sometimes if you're in a bad mood, your astral body is also in an unsafe astral location, and you're accidentally not listening to your angels when they're like, we need to leave here, you know, let's go somewhere calm and fun and peaceful for you. So you can have the intention, well, I'm going to let my angels help me to be in a safe astral location. But that's the idea. And then when you're asleep, your regular astral body goes up and you join with your astral body. So there's not like multiple versions of you when you're asleep. There's just one. It's, you know, all that energy of yours. But then it's really important too, and it affects your quality of sleep. You know, when you're awake and you know, your astral body's here, your astral body's on the astral, then that can affect how you act, your physical boundaries when you're awake, you know, and your energy boundaries and how functional you are and your mood and all that good stuff, right? Your energy safety. When you're asleep, you know, and your astral body and your astral body are together, you know, on the astral, then it's completely super important, you know, the astral location that you go to, hopefully with your angels in your sleep, you know, and sometimes you can you know, you meet with a family member or somebody and you're like, oh, it'll be fine, you know, but maybe you don't ask your angels, okay, is this a good location? Or maybe, you know, your angels are like, okay, but keep it short because you guys tend to fight. And then sure enough, it happens again and your angels are like, we need to leave now. And maybe you just get so in the heat of the moment, you don't listen to them and you stay and you argue. And then, you know, you wake up all, you know, stressed out and weird, you know. So it's just good. So we're gonna help you to maybe clear some baggage so that you're more able to be clear thinking about that and you know, use your own logic and wisdom and listen to your angels, stuff like that, about, you know, being in safe astral locations all the time. But they can be fun astral locations. It doesn't have to be only like, you know, that you're like a monk in a monastery all the time, you know. It's just, you know, good to be able to leave if a situation is not right for you. If it sort of went sour, leave with your angels. So that's the idea, safe astral location. So we'll work that in the healing. So those things recycle fake angels and safe astral levels. That's like energy safety, energy boundaries type stuff. Strong boundaries type stuff. But then we have something that maybe is I mean, it has to do with boundaries, but it's just sort of cool. So I decided to include it. I know a couple clients need it. Okay, so your eyes, your physical eyes, and also we'll probably do some sixth chakra work with that. We'll see. But your physical eyes and your astral body eyes and all your 17 auras all around your eyes. You know, this whole area right here. So we're going to be unblocking and healing that. And I think some people don't realize how important your auras are in front of something. So like if you have issues with your eyes or energy issues with your eyes, then, you know, you have 17 auras, you know, that wrap all around you. So, you know, it could be that there's like 5 out of 17 that have big gaping holes right here, you know, allowing you to not be able to properly protect this region. Or maybe, you know, in addition to that, like 2 or 3 of the auras that are whole around the eye, maybe they have giant energy blocks that, you know, make it easy for invasive energy to just anchor into the energy block and then kind of mess with you and your vision. And so you can have physical symptoms of eye issues, just like with sinuses when we work sinuses. You can have physical issues with any body part that actually start energetically. Sometimes it's so physically manifested that you need physical treatment as well. But, you know, doing it with energy healing, it's always worth a try because it could be actually all you need, or at least get you halfway there to do the energy work. So I think that could be really interesting because eyes are so important, you know, your vision, being able to see well. Even like, you know, like when people say, oh, the eyes are the windows to the soul. So like being able to you know, be fully present in your eyes, you know, as sort of like a part of authenticity. I think it's cool. So we're gonna work the eyes. Because we have worked the sinuses a bunch, but not explicitly the eyes. So it should be nice. Looking forward to that. So that's pretty much it. But I think that's a lot. You know, it's like sort of 5 things to take back your knowledge. Clear perception, distortion blocks, recycle fake angels, save astral locations, and then eyes, like in and around your eyes. And your optic nerves too, as part of the eye healing. I didn't mention that. So that there's a nerve that goes like, connects each eyeball to your brain, your optic nerves. And so we'll just heal that. Like it's just like we would like a meridian. We'll just, get rid of any, just use lots of gold light and maybe some red earth energy and, to ground, give them their own grounding and just clear off muck. It's just you and flowy energy. We want just you all around that area. So it'd be interesting. And you can let me know in your post-healing survey that you fill out tomorrow or the next day, so Friday or Saturday, if your eyes feel any different after the healing. And of course, you can work it more because it'll be its own little chapter after the. I'm going to take a look at chat comments, as long as they're just sort of simple and fluffy right now. And if you could give this live stream a thumbs up, that does definitely help YouTube to take the video more seriously, and maybe it'll help YouTube to show it to somebody new that, maybe really needs to learn this stuff, and be more energetically safe. So it would be nice if you want to give it a thumbs up. Okay. So checking comments. Hey, Janet, we can see and hear you in Chicago, 90s and sunny. I used to live in Chicago many, many, many years. From 18 years old when I went to college till about, what's that? 2016 when I was 46. So many years in Chicago. But I'm not going back. We can see and hear you. Thank you very much. Hey, hi. It's a great day for healing, isn't it? Very good to see you on the live stream. Thank you. Thank you for your patience, guys. Yet again, I was even later than I wanted to be, but I had to get my sleep. I was up pretty late preparing. So I can't really cheat on sleep and do this kind of. There's that. Hello, Janet. Can see and hear you. Okay, thank you. Good to know. Glad you're able to watch. Hello, Janet from Kansas City. I'm learning to try easy as well. Yes, try things the easy way. Yeah, you would think that would be easy, but I was always raised the hard way. Raised to do things the hard way. My birth mother was like an expert at doing everything the hard way. And she was very militant about it. That's the way it should be done. Someone says, I spoke too soon. It's suddenly about to storm in Chicago. Oh, wow. How about that? It is possible that other people can steal. Oh, is it possible that other people can steal your emotions, even the negative ones? I think that's a lot less common. I mean, they can. What's more common with emotions is they'll dump, in your second layers of your astral and physical body auras, or like right in front, in the belly area, right in front of your second chakra, and just stop you from whatever emotional experience you were having. That's pretty common. And same with heart chakra. Heart chakra has to do with enthusiasm, motivation, and they can dump a bunch that just like all of a sudden you're like shut down again and kind of numb, pop out. So that's more common than stealing your motivation or your emotional, like stealing your anger or something. I don't think that's very common. they'll just dump and shut it down that way. Which is a good lead into, you know, next month, August, that's have to do with all the second chakra stuff. So emotional wellness, sexuality, sensuality, you know, taking back your stuff with that. Unblocking, you know, in case someone's trying to shut down your emotional wellness and strength or your sexual vitality. So it's a nice time to get more motion in your ocean. If, you know, sexuality is something that got turned off for you at some point. It's possible that you could be turning off your own sexuality, but it's also possible that just it's like an accidental thing with stressors in your life. But other people can dump and shut down emotion in your ocean as well. So it's good to get everybody out. It's okay if you did want to shut down your own sexuality, but it's better if you get everybody out and then you have the choice, you know, and then because you don't want to like be shut down by someone else, because then in your next life you can carry that burden through and then you have to deal with it then. So, you know, it'll be good. And sensuality too is second chakra. So sensuality is like all your senses. So taste, enjoying food, you know, enjoying like how, you know, temperature of the air, breezes, you know, fabric, all sorts of all your senses. So it's cool stuff. So that's next month. And those sets are on my website. Oh, I should have. So that was a little sales thing in a way. Talking about the August theme for the August sets, which are on sale on my website. Everybody is welcome to purchase. So if I've never worked with you before, that's fine. If you are completely new to energy healing, that's fine. Whatever. If you want to get it for your, you know, one of your close relatives, that's okay too. Just tell me who they are, give me their full name when you purchase, and I'll ask them on a spirit level if they want it. And if they say yes, then we're all good. And jwhealing.com is my website. Also, September sets are up for sale now too. My website, which is a little mind-blowing for me that September is in 2 months. But it is a fact. So now we're going back to pre-healing at okay. It says hello from DC, Washington, DC, the capital of the United States. Sunny and 89 degrees. Well, if you don't have to garden, that's nice. Hello, Janet, and everyone from, and you're mentioning that you are in sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. Hello, hello, hello. 95 degrees. Sunny. Well, hope you're having a great day. Someone says, I am 100% on board with working the eye and healing and working the eye healing, and I hope I remember it for the rest of this life. I've been bothered by the invasive being blocking my left eye since March. Usually when I'm being peaceful and enjoying looking at the sky, the being likes to come and interrupt me. Presents like floaters, but a 4-month floater is a long time. Yeah, well, we'll see if we work this. If you have any differences, you can mention it on your post-healing survey. It'd be interesting to work. I know different people have different issues with their eyes, and so it should be interesting to see, you know, if energy experiences change, if physical experiences change or not. You know, please let me know, you know, even if it's the same, there's no change in your eye issues, let me know what the eye issue is and that there's no change, you know, that's fine. It's good information for me to know in the survey. Someone says, hello from Oxfordshire in the UK. It's cooler here than it has been, which is a relief. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad. Hello to you. Someone says, thank you for working eyes. That's been contributing to my headaches recently for sure. Yeah, you are not alone. I know other clients have that too. So should be cool. But survey feedback, because it could be just like with sinuses, it probably took me a couple healings to get really good at healing sinuses. So your survey feedback will help with that. Because I'll keep studying the results and if I need to do it differently next time. Hello from Muckamore, Northern Ireland. Right? Or Northern Ireland? I think Northern Ireland. Muckamore. Hello to you in Muckamore. Hi, Janet. Love hear about the astral level healing. The past 2 weeks, I have been enjoying my sleep so much that I feel rested. Maybe I have been going places approved by angels. Yes. That's nice. Yeah, I think part of it is your chakra filaments, 3, 2, and 1, that connect physical 3, 2, 1 to astrophysical 3, 2, 1. They're more whole and strong than they have been. So there's less interference there. It allows your body to rest more fully when you're sleeping. So then it's like less distracting. And then, but yeah, I think you also cleared stuff in between you and your angels so that you're able to like understand them better when you're asleep. So that's cool. So it says, please don't ever change your flexible start time routine. Well, I don't think I can. I mean, it would sacrifice quality, so I can't do it. But yeah, that's funny that you like it. I'm glad. I get so much stuff done, and also it's very cool to not be in a rush. I laugh because, people have really different ideas about being on time or being late or, flexible start time and all that. And it's just interesting stuff. I know that there are some people who would be incensed by my, I'm very, very triggered by my flexible start times, but I have a feeling they are no longer my clients. So it's all good. I think they've just decided, to not deal with me anymore. It's okay. But yeah. Well, plus, people don't have to watch live. You can always catch it on the video, so it all works out. Oh, I changed the color. I have a bunch of these in different colors. And the one that I had been using, I do like that color. It was like a sort of like a sky blue, but it was clashing with my hoodie color too. So I'm debuting a new microphone cover color. Alrighty. Yeah. I think we're ready for the 3 minutes of quiet. During the 3 minutes of quiet, I will be quiet. And I will be finishing my preparation. And I will be saying hello telepathically to the 144 people that I'm about to heal, just so they're more aware of, on a spirit level that, hey, let's do this. Speaking of which, I'm going to do the country readout of where everybody is, because I don't know, that's really fun for me. So, of the 144 people in 11 countries that I'll be healing, who purchased this set of healings on my website before it was too late. 115 of those people are in the US right now, 6 are in the United Arab Emirates, 5 are in Canada, 3 are in the UK, 3 in South Korea, 3 in Qatar, 3 in Ukraine, 1 in Portugal, 3 in Japan, 1 in Taiwan, and 1 in Australia. So hello. to everybody that I'll be healing today. I'm very grateful to work with you. And also, hello to anyone watching live who didn't get a chance or just chose not to purchase, and they'll be healing themselves without having me heal them. That's also, of course, fine. And when I heal, I explain what I'm doing as I do it, so it functions as an all levels self-healing walkthrough. So if you're an adventurous newbie or you're even a super advanced professional healer, there should be lots of engaging, interesting things for you to try. Okay, so now actual quiet, glorious silence for a couple minutes before I get started. And when I start, you'll see me go like that. And that's how you know I've started healing. And after about a minute of healing and quiet, then, you know, I talk and talk and I heal. Okay, thanks for waiting. So you have a big energy center in the palm of each hand, and you have a fingertip chakra, one in each fingertip, and they generate energy like all chakras do. And for those specific chakras, you can set them with your intention, your thought, to be a metallic gold color, like this glitter. And therefore, the color that they're generating, that color of energy, the vibration of energy they're generating is metallic gold. And that's a nice vibration. It's high, but not too high. So fast moving, but not too fast moving. It's good for repairing and unblocking and letting go and all that stuff. So that's what we're going to use to heal. So just go ahead, set those chakras to a metallic gold color, and then you can use that gold light to heal each hand and just unblock these chakras a little bit extra. So use the gold light from one hand to heal the other. You can also use a copy out in front of you. So make a copy out in front of you of each hand and just kind of study it and heal it like that. And we're going to heal neck, shoulders, and arms to get you going, get you more present here too. Because it's like you're like a fish that you can swim through flowing energy. You can be more present if the energy's flowing. If the energy is like hard, like rock, like fish can't swim through a rock, right? So it's harder for you to be more present in your arms and in hands. We want you to be present here so you can feel the energy blocks. It's like an extra source of information. And also this strong flow helps you to manifest. So anyway, make a copy out in front of you of your neck, shoulders, and arms. You know, just like AccuDoll here. Just make a copy. You can make it big, small, whatever. And just use cold light. You want to unblock your neck, shoulders, and arms. And whenever I talk about a body part, the auras around it are equally important, because the auras around a body part protect it and comfort it. And in the case of Wei Qi auras, they send gold light inward toward that body part. So they're really, really important. You're going to melt away blocks around in your auras around your neck, shoulders, and arms. And your fingers, you can have, you know, stuck energy in your fingers, so you can work your auras around your fingers, you know, unblock. If you feel like it's sort of sticky or gluey or stretchy, that could be invasive beings. So you could just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings messing with my fingers? You can use sticky gold wax and just stick it to all these areas. So that's gold light from your hands that sticks to everything that's not you. It forms like a hard lump so you can lift it all at once. So sticky gold wax, your neck, shoulders, and arms, and hands and fingers. And your chest, upper back. And so have it stick to everything that's not you, including hard objects, including invasive beings, including other people's energy. And then just lift out all the junk like a big lump. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So sticky gold wax the whole area. Lift out all the junk. Angels, here you go. And then just extra gold light, because now that those objects are gone, hard objects and the invasive beings are gone, you should be able to repair more easily. If you feel like there's any leaking, then maybe there's still some invasive beings covering up one of the gashes. So angels, can you recycle any invasive beings right here? And the gold light should be able to fully repair then at that point. If not, if you still can't repair, then you probably missed a hard object. So lift out the hard objects, give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in this area? All right, good enough. Good enough to get you going. Sometimes I get too hot as soon as the live stream starts, and then I have to change my outfit. So hold on a sec. Oh. Fun side story. Well, I won't tell the fun side story right now, but if you want to hear a fun side story about having your hair in a ponytail, you can put it in the chat and I'll talk about it after the healing. Fun side story about ponytails. Okay. Okay, so let's do grounding. So grounding is your connection to the core of the earth, so it helps you release, let go of what's not you, and it helps you to bring up a lot of earth energy, which is really centering and calming and stabilizing. It's very helpful. So just make both your groundings really big and wide. So as wide as, say your wrists would be if you stick out your arms, right? Because you want your groundings to be as wide as your auras. And if your auras have a lot of your energy flowing, they're going to be pretty wide. So just make your groundings red or orange or yellow, both the same color. One for your astral body energy system, one for your spirit, one for your physical body energy. So astral and physical, two different ones, right? So just make two big wide groundings all the way down to the core of the earth, red or orange or yellow, and then you make a copy out in front of you of those groundings. And use gold light from your hands to comb through the copy and wash out and melt away anything that's not you. And use gold fire, gold water, gold sandstorm, like spinning bits of gold light. Just be assertive, get everything out that's not you and your grounding. You say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in my grounding, can you please recycle them? And that's not like a forever request. You might, because your angels will remove what is like healthy and gentle for you, but then you come in more and then you're ready for more. So you might need to, if you notice something else, then you ask again. And if you can't see what's in your grounding as you're working it, you could just sweep it together, as if you're sweeping a floor, and you sweep all the crud in one spot and you put it in the dustpan, right? So you just sweep all the junk that's in your grounding that shouldn't be there together, and then just use lots of gold light, gold fire, gold water, and just melt it away. Sweep together all the energy blocks in your grounding and use gold light and melt it all away. Sometimes if you feel like somebody has too much influence over you, like say maybe kids are succumbing to peer pressure at school, or adults maybe, get manipulated by a relative of theirs or a friend, check your grounding to see if there are energy blocks from other people and melt those away. Because if someone can kind of plug up your grounding and, cord some blocks in your grounding, it just makes you, less self-assertive and less sure of yourself. So just find any blocks in your grounding that contribute to making you easily manipulated. Yeah, just melt those. All right, good enough. Good job, good job. Good job. You're amazing. So we're going through the 5 essentials: grounding, aura repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair, and then all this stuff back here: good karma windows, base of skull points. The 5 essentials. So aura repair is what we're doing now. So you have 17 auras: physical body aura, astral body aura, and then 15 auras called Wei Qi auras. Plus then the physical and then the astral. So Wei Qi is strong boundaries energy. They're flowy gold force fields. And so the gold light gets generated within these auras and sent inward towards a certain meridian and your whole body. So anyway, we don't want any rips in these auras, because then they don't work well to protect you. So you just imagine all your 17 auras out in front of you. They're all in the same place, so it's kind of like a big bubble, but it's really 17 bubbles in the same place. And you check with your intuition as you're combing through them for rips. And I usually don't have to repair right at that quiet part right before I start the healing, but I had to do aura repair on people at the start because there were so many people that had aura damage up here. I did a little aura repair already. But you can do like localized repair like this, just combing through and just wash it out enough so the gold light starts, the aura is growing back. But you can also repair all at once, all the rips at once. So that's what we'll do. And it is more newbie friendly potentially this way because you don't have to see where the rips are. So you create an image of a rip and you say with your intention, okay, well, this rip represents all the rips that I have in my 17 auras, right? And then you repair this rip, and as you're repairing this rip, you're repairing all those rips. So you have your composite copy rip and you fill it up with sticky gold wax to clean it out. So fill it up with sticky gold wax from your hands, and that wax sticks to everything that's not you, and you lift it all out at once, like a big chunk of junk, and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk at the same time. Angels, here you go. So what is junk? Invasive beings, invasive people, hard objects that were thrown and that created the rip in the first place, maybe. So again, sticky gold wax, lift out all that junk. Angels, here you go. And you can see, maybe there's some leftover invasive beings that just hopped in afterwards. So angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? And then just use cold light and get it as deep as you can. The rips are repairing. Okay, so that probably repaired most of the rips, but you could have a few leftover rips. So we'll do the process one more time for the leftover rips. So make a new image of a rip. Say, okay, well, this represents all my leftover rips. And sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax. That junk. Angels, here you go. Angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you recycle them, please? Again, if there are any hard objects, lift them out. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. All right, so then check the outer surface of all your 17 auras. There could be like little tiny leaks left over. Maybe you missed a couple little teeny hard objects. So just lift out any hard objects that remain. Into your angels, angels here. All right, and then you can redo your gold buffer zones. There is an 18-minute video. If you search Janet Wright gold buffer zones, you'll find it. But essentially, it's just two big gold force fields that you make that are flowy gold light. that you create and attach one to your physical body aura at the edge and one to your astral body aura at the edge, just to slow the rate of aura damage. If someone hack through, they have to hack through those first. Then you just instantly recreate them. So, and then your Wei Qi auras, those 15 Wei Qi auras full of gold light, they generate gold light. And rather than having a chakra do it, they have gold mesh spheres that generate that gold light. So there's 3 gold mesh spheres for each Wei Qi aura, and they wrap all around you. So there's an innermost one, a middle one, an outermost one. And so you can just imagine all those gold mesh spheres in all your Wei Qi auras and repair any gaps in them. Any scarring that's keeping them from going all the way around everywhere. So you're just repairing your gold mesh spheres within your Wei Qi auras. And if you have a problem area, say an eye, a shoulder, a finger, whatever, check the Wei Qi auras around that part of your body, just to make sure that, you know, all of the Wei Qi auras are continuous and flowing there, and there's not like a big gap. There is. Just keep healing the gold mesh sphere till it becomes continuous right there, so it can generate gold light and send it towards that body part, towards the shoulder, towards the eye, towards the finger, towards the knee, whatever. All right, good enough. Okay, so your creative rings are a part of you as a spirit. They are above your astral body head. So right up here, 1, 2, 3, the 3 gold rings, and they generate gold light. And the gold light, you know, becomes a nice protective force field for this area, and also gets sent downward towards all your major chakras along your spine. So astral body chakras, and then when you're present, also your physical body chakras. So it's a good thing. But your creative rings can be damaged, or they can just have a lot of cords and invasive beings and hard objects. And so it can go from something really good and helpful to kind of an overwhelming, I guess, gateway for invasive energy if it's damaged. So we want to repair them and just keep them in good shape so that they're in a help, right? And so here's an image of one of your 3 creative rings, like looking from the top down. And this is how you don't want it to look, with the flaps open. These are flaps, just like round chakra openings have flaps around them. Your creative rings have flaps around them like that. And if you have cords from people or beings sending their energy in, then the ring gets irritated and the flaps pop open. And unfortunately, that makes it easier for other beings and people to cord you as well. And so that's how things can kind of snowball and things get worse on an energy level unless you address it. So you can imagine your 3 gold rings and just melt away with gold light, melt away cords from other people. And melt away energy blocks, anything hard around these creative rings. And you can have invasive beings that are kind of clinging to the rings, or they're from afar and just cording in. So you can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings messing with my creative rings? And you can have energy leaks with your creative rings because, say, there's hard objects stuck in them, and then the energy leaks and that attracts invasive beings. So you can just use sticky gold wax, have it stick to your 3 creative rings, sticky gold wax, the inside, the outside, all around, undersides of them, and have the wax stick to any hard objects and anything that's not you, and then just lift out the wax with the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax your creative rings, lift out the wax with the junk. Angels, here you go. And then you can go ahead and repair. Again, you know, imagine the rings, imagine any invasive beings trying to mess with those rings, just say angels, you recycle those beings. So those beings could look like big balloons, big balls of fire, big, you know, clouds, whatever. You know, it's easy for an invasive being to look however it wants, really. So you don't really have to imagine it. You could just say angels if there are any invasive beings messing with, you know, part XYZ of my energy field, can you recycle? Also, if you have too many energy blocks above your creative rings and your aura is above there, then it's harder to get all the invasive beings away because they're anchored into energy blocks that you have. So just imagine, you know, like for AccuDoll, like here's her head, her creative rings would be right around here, and then the top of her aura is just like right here. So all the blocks here would make it harder to keep this area protected and flowing, right? So you just comb that whole area from the top of your auras to the top of your head, and just melt away any energy there. This can also contribute to like feeling less inspired or less clear-headed when you wake up, because when you wake up, your astral body is coming through this area of your physical body auras, and then seventh chakra on down, right? And so if there's so many blocks there, it's like you're trying to swim through all these rocks, and it's just like whoa. So again, we're unblocking your auras around your rings. So we're unblocking the above. All right, so that's good enough for now. Okay, so we'll repair and unblock all your chakras at the same time, and then we'll just do the ones that are still the worst. Just those. So all chakras, I mean all physical body chakras, all astral body chakras. So including, so not just 7 astral and 7 physical along your spine, but like all the cool acupuncture points in your physical body, those are chakras. I would call those minor chakras. Anything but the 7 biggies. Oops. Anything but the big 7 astral and physical chakras are, I call minor chakras, but you have a ton of them and they're really important. So all your acupuncture chakras, you have big energy, big chakras to keep the flow through all your major limbs, through, you know, around your joints. So lots of chakras. So you create an image of an open cylinder. I don't have my usual prop in front of me, but so this would be like a cylinder, right? And if there's a round opening and a round opening, so that's like a chakra. So just create an image of an open cylinder and have it represent all your chakras, all your major and minor chakras. And just use gold light and unblock the round openings. And use gold light, and you could have damage like cracks or scratches or missing chunks. use lots of gold light to repair. And the round openings do have flaps, just like the crater rings. So this is how it would look if they're stuck open, which you don't want, right? You want them to just be like a smooth round opening with all the flaps relaxed and shut. So your energy can flow through. So your energy can flow through the round openings, but it's harder for other people to core. So just let those flaps relax and fall shut, melt away the cords, melt the energy blocks. And it's natural if you're a newbie trying this to be like, well, I don't know if this is working at all. You know, it's just there's a level of self-doubt that happens and you get used to it. So just kind of wing it. Because what you're doing does help even if your confidence isn't really strong about it. So lots of gold light, melt away the blocks. The blocks could be wrapped around the chakra itself or like stuffed in the chakra or stacked in front or, you know, in front of one of the round openings. Energy blocks could be, you know, old baggage of yours from a past life or from this life or stuff someone dumped there. You don't have to worry about. Ooh, melt it all away. Gold light. And your intention is that you want to do what's healthy and gentle to do right now. You repair, unblock, let go to the extent that's healthy and gentle right now. Okay, good enough. Oh, so that was all of them at once. So then now let's just do the worst one. So, because sometimes, you know, one chakra is doing great and the other one is not. And so if you have a composite image of all of them together, you might not notice the ones that still need more work, right? So now let's just have a composite image of all the ones that still need a lot of work. So any that are still banged up or still blocked or still have a bunch of cords or whatever, right? So the worst chakra, worst at this moment. So, and just imagine those, and you can bring up red earth energy and soak them in red earth energy, gold light. And you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with these chakras, can you please recycle them? You can lift out all the blocks at once. You can blow up the blocks or just melt them away. Lift out all the blocks at once and melt them away. Out the blocks. You say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with these chakras, can you recycle them? All right, good job. All right, so this is stuff back here, and then I may or may not add something extra to it. We'll see. But good karma windows, that's a part of your astral body energy system. So you as a spirit, and it's a series of windows in your astral body right here behind the base of your skull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and each one is a triple frame window. So triple frame window, you could also describe it as concentric squares, the frame. So that would be a rough drawing of a concentric square, triple frame. And then there's like a red flowy window part within it. And each one is a different color based on the color of your energy in that aura layer. So if you set your chakras to the rainbow system, so red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple on the top of your head, then that's the colors of these windows. So you don't have to see them well or at all. You just say, okay, well, this is I'm looking at a copy of I created a copy of the back of my space right here, the astral body where there's, I'm combing back from through this area, right? And just use lots of gold light, and you want it to be only you, right? You want it to be flowing and only you. So you wash out everything that's not you. You can use gold light, gold fire, gold water, gold sandstorm, which is spinning bits of gold light. Yeah, just clean out everything that's not you. Melt any hard blocks. Anything hard is going to be weaker than flowing. So you can even lift out the blocks in that area and melt them separately or blow them up. Lift out the blocks. Melt them away. You can have damage to any of the frames. We could repair all the frames at once and all the window parts. So you could make a composite copy that just looks like one triple frame window with the window part in there. So, but it's a representative. It's a composite of all your 7 good karma windows. So you have your composite copy of all your good karma windows, and then just use lots of gold light to repair the frame or the window part. You want the window part to be flowy. Frames, no cracks. So if you have any invasive energy that's still kind of wrapped in through these good karma windows, maybe it's like it's coming in through the windows and it's anchored into either your base of skull acupuncture points or some of your upper chakras along your spine. You can just like you're weeding in the garden and you want to get the plant, but also the roots of the plant out. So you just sort of grab it all with your energy hand. If any part of it's rooted in your chakras, in your head or your spine, and just grab it all out at once. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So grab it all out. Angels, here you go. And it could be a person, like a nosy neighbor or a sibling or something, but anything that's not you, just grab onto it, freeze it, and lift it out. Give it to your angels. Here you go. Grab it out, freeze it. Angels, here you go. You can make an extra grounding just for your base of skull area. That's red. Bring it up from the core of the earth all the way up, red, and you can extra earth energy coming into this area, and also extra encouragement to let go of energy that's not yours down the grounding. All right, and then base of skull points. So, this is a diagram of traditional Chinese medicine meridians, energy pathways in your body. And the different colors represent different meridians. And so the base of skull points, what I call the base of skull points, are those 2 rows of points that you see in the diagram, one at the level of the top of the earlobe and one at the level of the bottom of the earlobe, all those points. And it's nice to repair them and unblock them. You want each meridian to be like a red flowy tube with your red flowy life force flowing within it. You're in your body's red flowy life force. So, you know, the diagram uses all sorts of different colors just so you can tell each meridian apart, one from the other. But on an energy level, red is a really nice, healthy color for any of this sort of body meridian stuff. So you just check out these meridians, see if they're red and flowy, if they're blocked up at all. Just use extra gold light so they can relax and repair and unblock. That midline one that goes up it starts in the crotch, goes up the midline of the back, wraps around, ends in the roof of the mouth. That's GV meridian, governing vessel meridian. You don't have to know what it's called to repair it, but that one is helps to manage all your yang meridians, so self-assertiveness. So that one, like the CV meridian in the front, which manages all your yin meridians, if you heal this one, it's just it helps it do its job better to help all those meridians. So, and just like I said with body parts, you know, when you heal a meridian, all your auras around it are important. So you don't want any blocks or any rips in those meridians. So you comb through those points and drag out any blocks, like comb through the base of skull area outward through the auras and just drag any energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of, drag them out and grip them in your hand. And then you say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? So then it's just a bunch of energy blocks and maybe cords from people. So then you just melt all the cords from the people with gold light. Everybody out, and then you just melt the blocks away. So drag through your base of skull area out through all the auras and collect up any blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And then use cold light and melt away people, melt their cords, and melting the block. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with this base of skull area, can you please recycle them? The GV meridian, the energy flow goes upward right there, and the yellow line there is the urinary bladder meridian that goes downward right there, and then the gallbladder meridian is the blue-green one, and that goes downward right there as well. But you don't have to know that direction of flow stuff in order to just keep it repaired. And I'll link below 12 meridian playlist. If you want, you could, you know, watch the energy flow through each meridian and use it as an energy healing inspiration to, you know, as long as you have the intention, I want to heal what's healthy and gentle to do right now, is especially important for body stuff. Pace yourself. Alrighty. Okay, good job, good job. I didn't do any etc. We kept it. So the first thing that we'll do is something I explained already in the before the healing. So it'll be its own chapter explaining fake angels. You could refer to that. So this is just the doing part. But I want to get it out of the way so that, you know, if you do have any fake angels, get rid of them now, so then they won't mess with you later in the healing. So you can imagine this, but you don't really have to. You could just use words and intention. But if you want, you can imagine like a row of all your fake angels and then a row of your real angels. And just be like, okay, here are my fake angels. If I have any, here are my real angels. And then you just say angels. And again, the angels know who they are, so you don't have to worry about it. The angels, can you please recycle all my fake angels? Again, you don't have to imagine them each, but sometimes that's kind of interesting. And just, you know, have your healthy beverage or just sit there and breathe while your angels do the work. Stay here, you know, let your angels do their thing. So you can double check. Maybe you need to do it a second time. So again, just imagine your real angels and your fake angels. You know, angels you think are real, but they're really fake. And then the real ones. The angels, can you please recycle any fake angels that I have? Okay. So we're going to do a second thing, which I didn't announce ahead of time, but it complements what we just did really well. Okay, we're going to clear agreements that you may have with invasive beings. And why would you possibly make an agreement with an invasive being? Sometimes you're just stuck in fear and you're not thinking straight. And so you don't really realize this being is part of the problem. You think that, they deceive you. They present themselves as a protector. I'll scare everybody off. Just sign up with me, on a subconscious spirit level. And so, you could have agreements with these beings, and unless you clear the agreement, it just continues. And so it could be that's why sometimes you can't get rid of, invasive beings that are clearly invasive beings, is that you have an agreement from this life or a past life that, they're protecting you and therefore have full access to your space. So it's better to just let your angels protect you because they're not going to mess with you. They're not going to be in your space and steal your energy and trick you and lie and all that. So anyway, let's do it. It's much easier just to do it. So, just imagine you could, if you want, you can just do it with your intention. You don't have to imagine any of this, right? But you could just imagine the invasive beings that are still around because you have agreements with them from this life or past lives. And then imagine the agreements either as pieces of paper wrapped up like a scroll, a stick, a rock, it doesn't matter how you want to imagine, just as some physical representation of that agreement that you have with that being, right? And then go ahead and use gold light. You can say, angels, help me do this. And then use lots of gold light, and you can just basically melt away the agreement. And you can say, angels, help me do this, in case you're like, well, what if one of them is really an angel, you know? Their angels are going to just help you clear the agreements that are with the invasive beings. So just melt all these agreements that you have with invasive beings so that, you know, you don't let in something that's really messing with you. So, and you can imagine more agreements that you may have with invasive beings, and just use lots of gold light. Say, angels, help me clear any agreements I have with invasive beings. All right, good job. Good job. Yay, you're a rock star. Good job. Okay, so this is a repeat that we did in the second healing of the July triplet set. And it's good to do again, why not? And I think it will help, it could help with the take back your knowledge that we're about to do after this. So perception distortion blocks are just energy blocks that you have that are making you perceive things in a way that's less accurate, right? And that's not good. And they could be because of, you know, old trauma or something, or just energy that someone put in your space, you know, like, no, this is the way it is. And they blocking your vision with this, you know, inaccurate thing. But, you know, whatever reason, it doesn't matter. You can make a big gold blanket out in front of you and just pile onto it any energy blocks that you have in your space, any energy you have in your space at all that distorts your perception, right? And just make a big pile and just say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? That way your angels will edit the pile if necessary. And then the second request you say is, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into this junk? Just to get them out of the way. That way it's nice and low drama to do this. And then just melt cords from people that could be going into these perception distortion blocks. You don't have to worry about who it is or why. They're not conscious generally that they're cording. Melt all the cords from people, and then just keep melting all these perception distortion blocks. Oh, wait. Or, you know, once you've melted the cords from people, you can just blow them all up if you want. All right, so let's do that one more time. Make a big gold blanket out in front of you. Pile onto it anything you have in your space that distorts your perception, makes it less accurate. So just pile all that onto the blanket, and you could bring up red earth energy, soak the pile with red earth energy. You say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath while your angels edit your pile. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then melt people out of it with gold light from your hands. Melt their cords, wash them out of the pile. And then just keep melting the pile, or you could blow it up if you prefer. If you have any left over, just wrap it up in gold light and give it to your angels. Say, angels, can you help me with this? All right, good job, good job. Okay. So take back your knowledge. I already explained it before the healing started. People can take pieces of energy from your space that remind you of what you know. So that you forget. But you can take it back. Because you want knowledge, you know, that's part of the point of lifetimes is to learn. You know, learn compassion, learn patience, learn discipline, learn maybe to, you know, have a sense of humor, not take yourself too seriously, learn humility, learn, you know, time management. Someone must have taken all my time management skills. Maybe I just have more lifetimes to learn that one. But, you know, anyway, people can take your knowledge, so let's take it back. Alrighty. So, how does it look when it's, how does it look when it's in someone else's space? You can imagine it however you want. You know, vision is not always so absolute, but you could see it like a gold scroll, like your knowledge, as a, you know, a scrolled up piece of paper that's gold. And then if someone took it, it's in their space now, and they put it in a black box. So there's a scroll of yours in a black box that they have, and they have a bunch of them. So you can see it very similar to how if people take your goals and dreams, which we took back in the triplet set. The second healing of the triplet set. So now we're going to take back your knowledge. And it could be interesting to know, like it might come to your mind like the person that has most done this in your life, but you might be surprised to see that there are a whole bunch of other people that you didn't realize, you know. So first we could take it back from a specific person, but then, you know, we could take it back from anybody. You don't really have to know who has it. So both are kind of interesting. But first we'll do specific. Okay. So you can just, you know, stay present. You can redo your grounding, you know, comb through your grounding, make sure you're really here and your grounding is nice and wide and flowing. And if it's too triggering to imagine a certain person, then imagine a different person that you think probably took some of your knowledge, but it doesn't freak you out to imagine. But you know, if it doesn't freak you out, it could be interesting. So you just imagine yourself, and then you imagine the other person, you know, at a distance from you. Don't interact with them at this point. Just like kind of, you see them, stay here. So you're not going into their space. And you're not going to be going into their space to take back your knowledge. That wouldn't necessarily be safe, and it could be bad karma that way, because then you're being invasive, kind of. So, but you can imagine, you know, did they have some of your knowledge in their space? You can make it look really bright gold, you know, the energy of yours that's in their space, or like make it look blinking gold, you know, so you can see. But anyway, what you're going to do is you're just going to call it back to you. You're not going to go there, right? So you can call back even the black box that's around it, even though technically they created that black box. It's like a device to keep your energy stolen. So that is okay. If you want to call back the black box as well, that's fine. So just stack up all the, you know, call them to like a gold area that you have in front of you, all the black boxes and the scrolls that person took from you that are yours, so your knowledge. And then you just you You could say angels if there are any invasive beings hooked into this stuff. Can you recycle them? And then you say, angels, help me do this safely. And just melt all the black boxes. And run gold light through all the gold scrolls. And they should just like pop back into your space and go wherever they need to go. So pretty easy. We can do another specific person. Somebody maybe you know, from a different time in your life, or you know, just someone else that you want to see, or it could be a past life person. That could be interesting. You know, some past life person that in that lifetime they took some of your wisdom, your knowledge, and just imagine yourself and imagine that past life person. And you can imagine the scrolls of yours that are in their space with the black boxes. And don't go there though. Just call it to a gold area in front of you, your knowledge and the black boxes around them. And to angels, help me do this safely. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And just melt the black boxes. And then melt, run gold light through the gold scrolls of your wisdom and your learning. And they'll just pop back and go where they need to go. And don't do anything to that person. You know, like if they're mad at you now, just say, hey, you know, I only took back what was mine. You can have your angels talk to them. The angels, can you talk to the person? All right, so then now we will do it from everybody. So we'll do it from everybody all at once, and to the extent that's healthy and gentle, that's what the H and G is, healthy and gentle at this time. So you just, you know, imagine a gold space, you know, make a gold space out in front of you, and call to it a healthy and gentle amount of all your wisdom and knowledge that you're ready to call back, with the black boxes that were around your pieces of knowledge. And just, you could say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And then just, you know, use gold light, melt any cords that are corded to any of it, and melt the black boxes away with gold light. And then run gold light through the gold scrolls representing your wisdom. You just take back your knowledge and it goes wherever it needs to go in your auras and your chakras. Take a few deep breaths, see how that feels. Breathe into your spine, your hips, your toes, shoulders. So we could do that one more time. So just have a gold area out in front of you and call to it any knowledge of yours that is currently stolen in other people's spaces. Just bring it back to you. Or maybe you gave it to somebody too. Maybe at some point you were a real overgiver and you felt like someone was struggling and you just wanted to give them your confidence or some, like, you know, practical knowledge or some kind of ability. And so you gave away some of your wisdom and knowledge. So just call it all back, because it's just going to block other people up. If they have it, it doesn't actually help them. So call back your wisdom, your knowledge, including if there are, you know, someone stole it, they would have black boxes around it. So just melt all the black boxes. You could say, angels, you know, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? Yeah, just lots of gold light, run gold light through the scrolls. Go wherever they need to go in your space. Couple deep breaths. You can redo your groundings. Oh, I didn't mention, bring your groundings up high as your third chakra. So not just around your waist, but all the way up. Third chakra is below your sternum. Right. Home through them. They're nice and flowing. Even in the back. Home through the back of all your auras, the back of your groundings. So like home through all groundings would go. All right, good job, good job. Okay, so I talked about this already before the healing started. There'll be its own chapter explaining safe astral levels, astral body, all that stuff. So hopefully we'll just jump into the doing part now. Hopefully. So you can put a big gold blanket out in front of you and pile onto it any baggage that causes you to kind of be dumb on a spirit level. And, you know, stay fighting and arguing with somebody on the astral that, like, you're totally getting clobbered and destroyed and it's going to screw your whole next day, but you're still doing it. You know, that kind of dumb, you know? So put on the blanket any energy blocks causing you to be dumb, causing you to get stuck in, like, self-damaging behaviors. Any, you know, put on there any also any baggage that makes you misunderstand your angels and like not understand like the obvious simplicity and brilliance of the, you know, like, gee, you're getting clobbered, we should leave now, you know, that your angels are trying to tell you. So there's any vlogs keeping you from understanding, you know, basic safety information from your angels, put all that baggage out in front of you. The angels is healthy and gentle to clear all this right now, which of course it would be. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And then go ahead and, you know, melt everybody out of all this baggage. And then you can blow it all up or just keep melting it with lots of gold. If you're healing someone else, don't blow up their stuff. That's bossy. Just use gold light and melt it. All right, if you have any left over, just wrap it up in gold light, give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? All right, so let's do more of that, just in case. So big old blanket out in front of you. Put onto it any baggage that makes you stupid. Makes you just do things that are overly dangerous for no good reason. You know, it makes you just self-harm on a spirit level and overly, you know, conflict oriented in a way that benefits you not at all. So any like sort of stupid safety risking stupidity stuff. Just put all that on there. Also anything that blocks you from understanding your angels with this sort of basic safety knowledge. And just say angels is a healthy and gentle to clear all this right now. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And then just go ahead and melt everybody out of the pile, melt cords going into the pile from other people. Lots of gold light. You can blow up the pile if you want, or just keep melting it with gold light. Wrap it up. Anything left over, wrap it up in gold light. Angels, can you help me with all that? All right, good job, good job, good job. We'll give you a little celebratory butterflies for that one. Good job, good job, good job. An affirmation maybe, you don't have to use these exact words, of course, but I'll say, what you could say, or you can make up your own, paraphrase it yourself. Because, I'm going to let my angels help and guide and protect me. Specifically angels, not just, anything benevolent. Because then you could be totally confused about what's actually benevolent, and then you're screwed. So, I'm going to let my angels help and guide me and protect me. I'm going to go with my angels, when I'm sleeping. I'm going to let my angels help me find ideal astral levels when I'm awake for my astral body. Because like maybe when you're working, you're on an astral level that really is bad for focus. And your angels have been trying to explain it to you, but you're just so caught up in like kind of trashing yourself and like, oh, I'm such an idiot, I can't focus, that you're not hearing like their suggestion. So you can look at that, like when you're trying to get work done, is your astral body in the best astral location it could be for, your focus and your productivity. And if not, just go ahead and, clear any baggage in the way. Like imagine the baggage out in front of you like bricks or rocks and just blow them up or melt them away. And just check, okay, now will I be able to, when I'm trying to get work done, will I be able to let my angels bring me to the best astral location for what I'm trying to do? So it's like that. Also too, if you have certain worries or concerns that you tend to like spiral on, you really overdo it. You're thinking about them. You can look at like, okay, well, what astral level is my astral body? What astral location is my astral body when I'm spiraling on those concerns or those resentments or whatever that you tend to, if you do consciously have like a sort of a rut that you get into with your thinking. Just imagine the location of it as if it's like a room or an outdoor area and just see, okay, well, is this the ideal location for my astral body? Chances are, no, it's not. It's some crappy place you keep going to for some reason. So then just imagine out in front of you, like bricks or rocks or however you want, whatever baggage that causes you to keep going to an unsafe astral location, and then just blow up the baggage or use gold light and melt it fully. The same thing with your sleep. If you like a certain time of night, you always wake up, you can't go back to sleep, or, you just feel like your sleep isn't as deep and restful as it should be. Sometimes that could be a physical body issue, but sometimes it's an astral issue. Like you just keep going to like talk to a certain relative, or you think it's like a party on the astral, but you're going to like some really skanky location that's not really safe. So you can look at that, are there any unsafe astral locations that you're going to that harm your quality of sleep or your duration and quantity of sleep? And if so, just imagine the baggage out in front of you that would cause you to do such a thing. Potentially every damn night. So just imagine that baggage that's causing you to be unwise with your astral locations, and just blow up the baggage or melt it with gold light. And if there are any invasive beings connected to it, say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And then just melt it all away or blow it up. whatever baggage causes you to keep going to like unsafe astral locations when you're supposed to be having amazing restorative fun sleep. Like, you could be thinking, well, Janet, I have to work things out with my husband in my sleep because we can't talk when we're awake. But, you know, your angels can find you good astral locations for anything, you know, for having difficult discussions with a partner, for, you know, figuring out some problem in your life. You know, your angels can find like the ideal astral location. But, you know, sometimes you have to kind of push back because somebody maybe is suggesting a location that's just the worst energy. And you have to be able to say, I can't do that, you know, but here's, you know, you and my angels are teaming up together to find the best spot, you know, and let's let them do that, you know, for us, you know, because that is possible. Angels are cool that way. They can find a location that's going to be appealing to both of you and optimal for both of you. You know, if it's a situation where you need to work with somebody in your sleep. So, but you have to, you know, like I said, kind of stand up for that. You can't just be like, all right, no problem, I'll be there. So you can go ahead and put out in front of you any baggage that causes you to not be able to speak up for yourself on a spirit level, just subconsciously, as far as like safe astral locations. So all that baggage that causes you to be, you know, accept damaging situations on the astral, just put that baggage out in front of you. Say, angels, you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk. And then just lots of gold light, melt everybody's cords out of this stuff. And melt the baggage or blow it up. If you have any left over, just wrap it in gold light. Say, angels, can you help me with that? Good job. So that was more specific than I think we've done in the past. With all those specific situations about like working with others, or, you know, an astral location for you, your astral body to be at when you're awake and working, trying to work. So anyway, cool stuff. So yeah, we did some relating to work, getting work done, having good sleep, and also meeting with people in the astral, in safe astral locations. All right. So now, the other thing I really wanted us to do is the eyes. Okie dokie. I'm going to take my glasses off to do. Oh, keep hitting them. All right. So your eyes. You can comb through like that. You can do copies out in front of you. What we're going to be doing is we're going to heal both your astral body and your physical body in this area of, you know, your actual eyeballs, all the energy around, you know, and then the location, you know, behind your eyes, including your optic nerves that go from each eyeball into your brain. Optic nerves. You can look up and Google and research more about optic nerves. I'm not trying to teach anatomy here, but so you can imagine like your eyeballs and your optic nerves, you know, and just use gold light and you can bring up red earth energy and ground your eyeballs with red earth energy and ground your optic nerves with red earth energy straight from the core of the earth. You say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with any of this, can you please recycle them? You could have sort of like saved up stress in your optic nerves that obviously you don't want there, so just keep melting it. You want it to be like a red flowy tube, like say a body meridian or something, or your spine, spinal cord. Oops. You could have energy in front of your eyes for a ton of reasons, but sometimes people didn't want you to see something. Like say you were raised with a sibling who had a big secret and they didn't want you to know that secret, or a parent who had a big secret and they didn't want you to know that secret. They may have like subconsciously put, you know, big, huge pieces of energy, hard energy right in front of your eyes and your sixth chakra, of course, too. To block you from, attempt to block you from seeing and observing. Some people are very self-conscious about being observed. And so if you're, you know, this big clairvoyant kid just sitting around watching everything, you know, that can be very triggering for some people. So imagine that your auras, you have 17 auras all around you, right? So this area in front of your eyes, you know, all your 17 auras should be flowing and whole right in front here, but some of them might, you know, have like big holes bored into them. There could be hard objects stuck in your eye, literally, like on an energy level. There's like a hard object stuck in there, or a whole bunch of them. So if any of that's there, just lift it out, you know, loosen it up with gold light, lift it out, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Or kind of fun too is just surround it in gold light and just use so much gold light that it just melts away right in place. That's kind of fun. Or you can pop them out, you know, like they're little splinters, and you just pop them out and have them blow up when they popped out. There are, to put my glasses back on to see, to read little print, tiny fine. Yeah, so we can also heal some of the energy meridians in this area. So they could include so UB 1 and 2. UB is the yellow one right there. So it starts in the corner of each eye. And that's an energy point right there, an acupuncture chakra. That's the first one in the whole meridian. And then UB2 is right there in the inner corner of the eyebrow. So those 2 points, stomach meridian, the green line dropping down from the eye right there. That's the beginning of the stomach meridian. So stomach meridian points 1 through 4, which are right there. You see the dots on the diagram, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is near your mouth, corners of your mouth. And also one I wanted to point out was, I mean, there's a couple there. Oh, and by the way, that dark brown line that goes near the mouth and the nostrils, that is inaccurate. That the meridian doesn't go quite that way. The meridian actually, it's kind of interesting. It's the small intestine meridian, that dark brown line. excuse me, and it goes up. It actually goes up. So one side crosses over and then goes up the near the nostril on the other side. So it's kind of cool. It goes up the side of your neck and then crisscrosses and goes up like that, which is pretty cool that it crisscrosses. I don't know how many meridians actually do that. But so for some reason, the person that made these video images, which I'm very grateful to them, but that's the one inaccuracy that I've heard about. The small intestine meridian actually goes up and then crisscrosses next to the nostrils. But those points, they are kind of cool, the small intestine points, but I think they could be cool for like sinus work, but I don't think they're huge for eye work. So I just want to mention them because they're cool. But anyway, so stomach 1 through 4, that's the green line right there. The other one I wanted to do is that in the forehead, that one that comes, you see it coming down. So that's gallbladder 14 right there. Gallbladder 1 is right by the corner of the eye. So that's the start of the gallbladder meridian. The gallbladder meridian like squiggles around by the side of the head and the ear for a while, and then it goes up to the forehead right there, and then it goes back down, and it goes down the side of the body, and it helps with like decisiveness, which is kind of cool. But we'll do specifically gallbladder 1 right there, the deeper green line by the corner of the eye, and then gallbladder 14 right there, just to help with the eye area. And that turquoise one right there, we'll leave that alone. That's the end of the Sanjiao meridian. That one, the point, the bright turquoise line near the eyebrow, but we'll ignore that one for now. I don't think that one's huge. We're working that on. Gallbladder 1 and then gallbladder 14. That, you know, the sort of green blue. So that's 14, the forehead thing right there. So let's do all that. Sorry about that. That was a lot of explaining. So let's do it. So stomach meridian 1 through 4. I'm just going to jump back and forth. So the gallbladder meridian, that first point is right there, you know, out from the corner of the eye, the outer corner of the eye. So gallbladder meridian. So that's 1 and that's 14, right? So that go on. And you could say, angels, if there are any invasive beings screwing with me as I try to do this, can you please recycle them? Go back to stomach, and then gallbladder 1 and gallbladder 14 again. And with gallbladder 14, you can do the points before it and after it too, if you want, or just that the meridian as it goes to and from 14. You know, where it makes that little V in your forehead. And then your auras, all your auras in front of your eyes. And we could especially do those meridians, those Wei Qi auras. So urinary bladder 1 and 2, those points, right? The yellow lines. in the corner of the eye and the corner of the eyebrow, inner corner. So urinary bladder meridian 1 and 2, points 1 and 2. And then the urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura. So that goes all around you, but specifically this part of that urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura. Just check that out. See if it's whole, first of all. No gashes. And then see if the gold mesh spheres are intact. They're sending gold light into this area properly. So like gold mesh. And then just check for any blocks. Right in front of UB1 and UB2 in that urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura. And you could say too, if you know there's a block not clearing, you could say, Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And then melt people out, you know, melt their cords out of the blocks. And then the blocks should melt much more easily then. You could blow them up. Deep breaths, see how that feels. So again, urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura right in front of your eyes, in front of your nose, in front of your forehead. Melt the blocks. Stomach meridian 1 through 4, and your whole stomach meridian Wei Qi aura in front of your face. The blocks could be pretty massive, like a whole mask of blocked energy in your stomach meridian in front of your face. You can melt them in place, but if they're not melting away, you can just lift them out and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift out any big mask-like blocks in your stomach meridian in front of your face. In your stomach meridian Wei Qi aura in front of your face. Angels, here you go. Oh. And then your gallbladder meridian, points 1, which is, it's that deeper green-blue line right by your eye, from your eye to near your ear. 1, first point, and then the 14. And again, you could do the whole gallbladder meridian video, or you could just look at a still and just see like that deep green one right there. It goes into like right by your ear. And then it goes up to like your hairline. And it goes down towards your ear and around your ear, and then up to GB14 and down down the back of your head, the base of skull points, and then forward and down the side. So it's cool. But right now, you know, you may not want to do all of it. You might just like 1 through 4. I don't think all of it's going to. I like it where it goes. I like healing it where it goes along the hairline right there, side of your head. And you want it to be energetically like a red flowy tube, unblocked red flowy tube. and it hooks around your ear. Not the light turquoise one, but the wider one, the deeper green one, deeper green blue. Good to that was nice. That was we really did GB 1 through 14, really. Oops. But we didn't have to. All right, so then now you can see angels. If there are any invasive beings in this area, can you please recycle them? And in front of your eyes, you could have really weird, you know, like there are cultures that put like coins over your eye when you're dead, you know, when your body's dead. I don't think that that's, but you know, maybe there are people that, you know, like try to bless you and they'll put something over your eye as a blessing. But I think plenty of people, they don't mean to bless you. Do that. They put stuff in front of your eye. But either way, if somebody created something, then they put it in your eye or in front of your eye, that's not actually helpful. So just comb through your eye and in front of it and just gather up everything that's not you. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Gather up the junk. Angels, here you go. Gather up the junk. Angels, here. UB 1 and 2, the yellow line in the corner, inner corner of the eye, inner corner of the eyebrow. Outward into the auras. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Blocks. Words. Again, the optic nerves from the eyeball, they connect will bring information and energy from the eyeball to the brain and back. Each eyeball to the. And again, you could have stresses stored in those optic nerves, so just melt away any stress. Deep breath, see how that feels. You can do energy healing flowers for your eyes, and this whole region in front of your eyes and behind your eyes with the optic nerves. Make energy healing flowers out of universal healing energy. Let it be whatever color it needs to. So it would be gold and or rainbow colors. And just make as many energy healing flowers as you need for your eye areas. And say, angels, can you double check my flowers? And then give them to yourself. Again, make a lot of energy healing flowers for your eye areas. Angels, can you check my flowers? Give them to you. You could have in this life or in a different life been been a part of a group that had sort of a shared agreement about it, like this is how you should look at this group of people, or this is how you should perceive something, or you shouldn't, you know, say anything about this, you know. And so you can have pieces of energy from groups that you were a part of, or even your current family group can have the same energy blocks in front of your eyes, kind of like blinders, or, you know, perception distortion blocks that, you know, all these people have. But you don't have to keep yours. You can say, angels, help me to do this safely, but you can go ahead and comb through your eyes and outward into the auras and gather up any group blocks that are in front of your eyes or impacting your eyes, and just melt them away with gold. So gather up any group blocks that are affecting your eyes and your vision, and just melt them away. Comb through, grab up the blocks from groups that are in or around your eyes, and just melt them away. All right, cool. Good job, good job, good job. Woohoo! You're a rock star. So again, you can always do more of that, you know, over time. So let's wrap up. We'll just do a quick comb through, check things out. So just make a copy out in front of you of your whole energy system. All your 17 auras, your physical body and your astral body are inside there. Both your groundings connecting you to the core of the earth. And just comb through everything. Check it all out. Use your intuition or your thought if you can't see yet. That's fine. Don't let that stop you. Lots of cold light. Cold light up and down your spine. Feel your major chakras. Unblock. Above the top of your aura too. We didn't really do that much. So like say for AccuDoll, here's the top of her aura. So you can have stuff stacked up above here. Like say if someone tried to dump stuff into your aura, but your aura was at the time pretty healthy, so it didn't break through. So it just is stacked up there. So you can go ahead and melt all that above the top of your auras. Block your auras above your head. Help you wake up better, to help you bring in new information. Speaking of which, receiving areas, all your auras are technically receiving areas, meaning you can bring in new energy of yours through any of your auras in any direction. So down through your shoulders, down through the top of your head, in through your good karma windows, in through just any part of the back of your aura, in through your legs. You know, if these auras are unblocked enough, they are effective receiving areas. If they're too blocked up, it creates a pressure as you're trying to bring in your new energy. So you can just unblock, as you unblock all your auras, think of them as receiving areas of yours, and see if you can, they're unblocked enough so you can bring in your new energy, your new positive change energy, your new ideas, new energy. And as you do this, you can kind of turn your copy around and just check different aspects of it. Don't just look at yourself the same way every time, because then you might miss something. above your shoulders, unblock. Front of your sinuses. Here. You could have invasive beings work their way into your sinuses, so you can freeze them, drag them out. Angels, here you go. Freeze them, drag them out. Angels, here. And have invasive beings kind of anchored in some energy blocks in front and work their way into your eyes. So just grab the invasive beings, drag them out. Angels, here you go. Any invasive beings impacting your eyes. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Like your groundings. So I think this is the last thing we're going to do. STEBs is stubborn triggered energy blocks. That's what it stands for. Stubborn triggered energy blocks, STEBs. So it's just energy blocks that are still triggered that you have that are bothering you on any level for any reason, even though we've done 5 trillion different clearing techniques. So they're probably still not cleared just because someone's courting them or some invasive being is courting them. So just stack all these stubborn triggered energy blocks out in front of you. And say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all these right now? And then, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? So then all that's left maybe is some people courting these blocks, and maybe you're courting them too much. So just wash your energy out of them, wash everybody else out, melt the cords from people. And just let the pile fully melt with cold light from your hands. And you could blow it up too. Put out more of them. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings into this stuff? Melt the cords from people, melt the blocks, or blow them up. If you have any leftover STEBs, just wrap them up in gold light. Say, angels, can you help me with these? Unblock your grounding. And when in doubt, you know, if you're going to do one thing for 10 seconds in the next couple of days, unblock your grounding. Imagine your grounding, copy out in front of you, wash through it with gold light, melt away the block. You want your grounding to be very wide. Independent grounding. I didn't say that out loud this time. So just use gold light, melt away anywhere that other people's groundings are hooked into you, or vice versa. Because it works better if they have their separate grounding and you have your separate grounding. Even if it's like your 2-year-old child or your best friend or something, it just is more stable for both of you if you each have separate grounding. So as we wrap up, you can just ask your angels, angels, can you help me wrap up this healing? Angels, can you help me with strong boundaries? All right, good job. You are a rock star. Woohoo! Yay, good job, good job. That's a healing. Yay. Okay, so we will take 2 quick breaks now, one for a bathroom break if you need it, and the other I will turn my camera back on and you'll see me do some stretches, and I see how funny I look doing stretches. And if you want, you can look funny too and do your own stretches, whichever ones are healthy and gentle for you to do. And then that'll just be, you know, a minute or 2. And then I'll spend 30 minutes-ish looking at chat comments. If you have a comment where you just, you know, saying how the healing was for you, that's cool. Or, you know, if you have a comment about some technique or follow-up question about the theme or something, that's fine. If you're a newbie, you can comment anything you want, ask me to look at something if it's simple. Put your initials though, if I don't know your name based on your YouTube ID, put your first and last initial. If you know my work and you're not a newbie, I would appreciate if you did it in a more empowered way where you self-assess. And so you say your issue and you say what you think is going on, like your own read of yourself, so that you're practicing reading yourself. And then, even just intuitively reading yourself. And then I'll comment on what I think about your read on the situation, so that way you're learning to become a better self-reader, hopefully, over time. Okay, so let's do break. I'm going to get rid of the camera. You won't see my empty chair while I'm gone. And I think I'll change the backdrop. You have something a little interesting to watch while I'm gone. I'll be right back. I'm back. So I'm going to do a minute or two of stretching. You could do some too. You don't have to do the ones I'm doing, obviously. I'm not an expert at stretching or anything. It's just a good thing to do after you've been sitting for a while. Hello, hello. Hope you had a good break. All right. So I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes so I can maybe not go on and on forever. If I don't get to your comment, and you still want me to look at it, just repost it under the video as a video comment, and I will post a video reply, a text reply to your video comment when I have time. Okay, taking a look, see what comments I didn't read yet. Oh, let's do. Chat. Okay, let's see. Someone says, hi, Janet from Qatar. Thanks for the healing. You are welcome. Thanks for staying up late to watch. You don't have to, though, if you don't want to. I understand. Time zone stuff is not easy. My healings are at a really wacky time for a lot of my clients. But it's nice to get a hello. Thank you so much. Glad to heal you. Someone says, hi, Janet, with a little heart emoji. Thank you. Very cute. Appreciate it. Someone says, I want to hear the ponytail story. Oh. Okay, I'm going to also link afterwards. I'll link a video. It's a little video short. It's not long. Okay, so there's this YouTuber, his YouTube ID. There's somebody who has a similar one to him, so make sure you get him if you're looking for him. Matcha Samurai. So matcha, M-A-T-C-H-A, like, you know, the beverage, green tea beverage. Samurai, S-A-M-U-R-A-I. I'll link this specific short that I'm going to be referencing below in the comment section within the next couple hours. But anyway, Matcha Samurai, he's cute. He's, cute not in like, handsome. I mean, he's fine, but, it's just his personality is really, I think, very uplifting. He has this really crazy laugh. And he's Japanese, but he's fluent in English as well. But his English is like in this London accent, which I think is kind of fun, because he'll switch. He'll be like talking in Japanese really fast, and then he'll just start talking in this big London accent with his English. I don't know, even that in of itself is amusing. And then he has this big cackle, like this laugh, and he just busts out laughing all the time. It's really funny. And he wears this samurai outfit all the time, just in his videos, Anyway, so it's a nice sort of, I guess, silliness dose, during sometimes, you might be watching something about politics that's just heavy and stressful, and then you watch a matcha samurai video, and it's just like a good change of pace. Breaks the tension. But anyway, he had this video where he says that in Japan, I don't know if it's in all schools or just some, but he says that they don't let schoolgirls wear ponytails in Japan, and because it might be too distracting for the schoolboys if the schoolgirls wear their hair up in ponytails. And he says the reason is because this area of the neck is considered like erotic. And so it's too erotic to be showing that area of the neck at school. So it's so funny. Like, for some reason now, every time I put my hair up in a ponytail, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I gotta drive those Japanese schoolboys wild. It's just such an odd. I mean, I get that the neck can be considered, erotic, but like that erotic that the girls are literally not allowed to wear their hair that way at school. Oh, I think that's so funny. So anyway, I mean, I'm not mocking that. People have their little kinks. It's just funny that it's such a widely held kink that it's a rule in school. So I don't know if it's every Japanese school, but he says it's true. So it's funny. So I'll link that video below in the comment section. So that could be your first introduction to matcha samurai videos. So that's the ponytail story. All right, somebody said, hi Janet. Saying hello from sunny Phoenix. Nice and toasty here, 100 degrees only. 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, I could not live there. That would be too much for me. I mean, if I had to, I would, but that would not be my choice to live there. I hope you're happy there, though. I mean, it's on your chosen place to live. There must be good reasons that you have to live there too. But anyway, so 100 degrees Fahrenheit is like 38 degrees maybe Celsius. And somebody said too, in Las Vegas there are at least 100 days every year that are over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm assuming that's at least that much true for you in Phoenix. There's probably over 100 degrees, over 110 in Phoenix, Arizona. Anyway, you're saying thank you for healing my adult kids. You're welcome. Very welcome. It says, hi Janet, last night I asked my angels to help my astral body go to a better place, astral location. I've been having a hard time processing things concretely. Was that one of the causes? I think I was hanging out in a really weird place on the astral or getting whacked a lot, but my intuition says the former. So you're thinking it was the astral location. Could have been both, of course, because that's part of why astral locations, Yeah, some astral locations are so unsafe that, there are a lot of people whacking each other or invasive beings too, just taking advantage of people and, whatever. So anyway, okay, so we could just look at the last couple days. Has your astral body been in unsafe locations when you were awake? Yes, definitely. Some days much more than others. But it seems like each day there's a little bit of it lately. But let's see. So today's Thursday. So this morning when you were awake, or was your astral body in an unsafe astral location this morning? No, not this morning. So yesterday was Wednesday. Were you in an unsafe astral location when you were awake on Wednesday? Was your astral body in an unsafe location? Not in the morning. Yeah, a little bit in the afternoon, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Yeah. So on and off. Yes. It looks like you get this energy that sort of surrounds you and you just kind of spiral. Like you get really complicated. Maybe try like a tricolor earth energy soak, and you could even imagine your astral body and do a tricolor earth energy soak on your astral body, and just because you want to try to, and you can comb out just any sort of, because it looks like a white cotton that kind of wraps around you, and just drag that out, give it to your angels. I mean, it's just invasive beings, but that's how it looks. You could even do an experiment with your angels and say, okay, angels, pick 3 good astral locations for me right now, and we'll go to one, and then we'll go to the next, and we'll go to the next, just to see if you can go through the paces and go to each one. So first you go to the first spot with them, and then you hang out for a second, and you're like, okay, let's try to go to the next one. And maybe like some inner baggage won't let you go to the next one, so you clear that baggage, then you can go there. Just like keep clearing your inner baggage so that because I think in the past you get caught up in conflict and you don't realize that you have inner baggage because you're fighting with, person XYZ. You don't realize the inner baggage that kind of keeps propelling you towards negativity and conflict and unsafe situations. So, yeah, so I would say that definitely has been an issue. But you can keep working at doing the stuff that we did, particularly when we worked today on safe astral locations and how we cleared baggage so that at the time I called it so you're not stupid, but I didn't, I mean that in air quotes, you're not really stupid. Okay, cool. So I hope that helps. But yeah, it's a decent read. Yes, I think the unsafe astral locations was a significant factor in what was messing with your focus and your mood, your perspective. So it says, I loved taking back my wisdom. There was definitely someone from past life who had a significant amount of it. Seems like a very angry woman. Yeah, past life stuff is cool like that, like taking stuff back from certain past life people. I mean, because we've all been in so many different situations, so we've been in like oppressive religions, we've been in, oppressive marriages, we've been in oppressive genetic families, we've been in, really fun things too, but in this context of taking back your wisdom, there's a lot that you could do with that. That's kind of interesting. If you wanted to do, just, I mean, you don't spend your whole day on it, but if you're curious, you can do a couple specific situations where you're taking back your wisdom and kind of intuit, what was the situation where that person was able to take your wisdom? Maybe it was a bossy older sibling or a jealous younger sibling, or maybe it was, all sorts of interesting options. But yeah, good. I'm glad you liked it. And so thank you so much. Think my angels support that it was wise that I gave notice at my job 2 days ago to retire in June. Interesting. Yeah, they seem to give a thumbs up. Everyone does June. Retire in June. Oh, I see. Next year, June. Yeah, because it's July now. Almost August now. Interesting. Think they're saying May though. So you're talking about 2026 June versus 2026 May. They say there's not a huge difference between the two. Healing helping a lot of fear, but abundance tree is decent. Yeah. If for those that don't know it, one of the many ways that we healed abundance is to imagine it like a tree or a whole bunch of trees and heal them. Manifestation wings look better and better. Any other angel advice? I presume you're talking about how do you build up your private practice enough, given that, in a set time period, you'll be reliant fully on it. Or how do you, yeah, they're talking about that, like building up your private practice. So how do you do that? Because there's all sorts of ways, abundance can be just, you live somewhere cheaper, or you realize you don't need to buy this major purchase you were thinking of buying, or, you don't take a vacation or this and that. Which actually they kind of point out the whole vacation idea. Like you could really look at some of your luxury oriented spending and build up a bigger nest egg. Because sometimes having a bigger nest egg means less stress. It can feel comforting, if you're in a situation where you're transitioning to being fully self-employed. So yeah, so they're thinking of like in addition to building up your private practice more by attracting more clients, also look at some of your major spending, just to be aware of what is your major spending and clear energy around reducing your major expenditures. Like rethink, but just be open to changing how your lifestyle changes. They like creative rings for that. You can work that, look at, if there's other people's energy around your creative rings, or past life devices or energy around your creative rings that are maybe limiting your ability to expand your private practice, or limiting your imagination with the whole lifestyle redesign. So, because there's so many ways you could work it, but creative rings at the moment is something they're pointing out. Someone says, thank you, Janet. Loved the eye work. Oh, good. My nasal passages are so clear. Isn't that funny? I'd written out all the face points to try to get to the bottom of my headaches, so I loved this work. Yeah, you mentioned having headaches. Lately, I've been journaling a lot about energy and writing down the amount of things I need to clear. For example, 2 piles of abundance blocks, etc. Is that helpful? I've really liked it, so I think it is, but wanted to check. Yeah, I mean, lately it seems like when you're journaling and meditating, like the combo it seems like it grounds your imagination more and like makes you less restrictive and more creative with your energy work. And it seems to be grounding for you. So yeah, your angels give a thumbs up about it. I think your instincts about it seem right. Yeah. Cool. There are times when I journal when I energy work. I used to do that a lot. Lately, I don't feel like I need it, but so that's just to point out that sometimes it'll really work for you, and sometimes you don't need it. It's not like a forever kind of rule on stuff like that. Just do what you feel amuses you and engages you better. It says, "Hi Janet, curious if the stolen dreams exercise will help me get more clarity on what's next for me. I did a check and it does seem like a small percent was reclaimed." Okay, so stolen dreams is what we did in the second healing of the triplet set. This one was stolen information, like knowledge, like what you've learned through experience. So it's different. Like goals and dreams has to do with what you want to do in the future. I mean, they're cousins of each other, certainly. But anyway, so your question is, you're thinking that, yeah, because you kind of mentioned different things. A small percentage was reclaimed. Maybe you're talking about today when we call back wisdom. I mean, yeah, you did call back wisdom, and when we did the callback goals and dreams, that one you could do more though. It seems like there's something about that. Like there's like this white wall around you. So when you try to call back your goals and dreams, like a lot of it gets caught up in the white wall. I think that has to do with your mom. Like it's not uncommon for moms. I mean, it's invasive and not helpful, but moms, they knew you when you were teeny weeny, and could die very easily. So it's not uncommon that they get invasive about trying to protect their kids, even when they're like 30 years old, So I think those white walls around you are from your mom. So when you're trying to call back your goals and dreams, like her protection energy kind of blocks quite a lot of them from coming back into your space. So what you could do is just first clear out any, invasive protective energy from your mom, from like in and around your auras, and then do it. Clarity on what's next. I want clarity on what's next. I would say that calling back your dreams and calling back your knowledge, but also I will link a mind garden video. It's not a standalone one. I would like to have one, but I just haven't put the time into making the excerpt. But recently I looked up, the mind garden mind barrier, where we cleared both mind gardens, one for conscious mind, one for subconscious mind, and then we did a lot of work healing and unblocking the barrier between the two so that you can become conscious of things that you need to become conscious of. So I think that kind of work that could help too. Because I think on the astral, it seems like you know what you want to do. It's just that in your waking life, there's a lot of like repression and denial and your mom's energy in the way. So it's like your own baggage plus your mom's energy. Your mom's energy, I mean, it's just like I explained with the dream stuff, she just accidentally is getting in the way. But it's sort of 50-50. Your mom getting in the way and then your own repression and denial and avoidance stuff. So I think the mind garden work could be nice for that. And then, clearing your mom's protection energy out and then repeating the whole call back your wisdom and call back your dreams and goals. I think they're equally helpful for what you're looking to do. So somebody says journaling a lot about energy and oh no, I already read that. Okay. So Someone says, thank you, Janet. Found the past life healing helpful. I think you mean when we were calling back knowledge, taking back knowledge that other people took from you, taking back the knowledge from past life people. That's what I think you're referring to. How did your spouse do, who also got the healing this time? Angel suggesting I work more on past life. Or maybe you're talking about some suggestion that I made after some healing about you healing past life stuff. Yeah, I don't remember stuff. Like that's just a general trait of mine. Like my mind just like lets go of large pieces of information. It's like, oh, gone. I feel like it's like I only have a certain amount of space in my brain. And so my brain is just very like, cleans everything off. Like, nope, we don't need that. Nope, we don't need that. So especially in a reading, man, whew, I could have read somebody and it was an awesome reading. And then later it's like, oh, really? I said that? That's nice. I'm glad it helped. I don't remember it. So just so you know, quick references to things I've read may not trigger the memory in me. You might have to explain a little further if you want me to know. But anyway, now I lost my place. Okay, found the past life healing helpful. All right, so I'm just going to be glad that it helped, but I'm not sure what you're referring to. How did your spouse do? Angel suggesting I work on more past life. Yeah, so again, I don't know which kind of past life thing, but your angels are saying yes. So you're right. So your spouse, I mean, he did fine. The angels give me a thumbs up. So for everybody, like you can just look and see the angels and they'll give you a thumbs up if somebody did great, but save astral levels, I think was probably the most important thing for him, most helpful thing for him. Sometimes he just, especially when he's trying to work, he'll just get in this, his astral body will be in such a negative, kind of oppressive environment. And then his mood just tanks and it's hard for him to get everything done. And then he'll be still in a kind of a bad astral location when he's talking to you. Like his astral body will be so it makes it hard for him. He like perceives everything as like difficult and annoying. So yeah, that's something that he could keep working. He's going to keep working. So that was the best part of the healing for him. Someone says, hey, Janet, I didn't even notice there was a healing today. Thank you for healing me, though. Now it makes sense why I've been feeling light. I noticed I've been feeling pretty lovey-dovey with my hubby. Yeah, which is new. Oops. Today, but unsure where I let some baggage go, maybe my grounding, because I don't think it was my fourth. Oh, yeah. So you're theorizing on why you're not grossed out by your husband now. Why you're relatively lovey-dovey with him. I think clearing perception distortion blocks helped. We did that in the second healing of the triplet. And we did it again today. Because I think sometimes you perceive him. I mean, I'm not saying he's the perfect spouse or anything, but sometimes like at least half of how you perceive him is colored by childhood and past life baggage of yours that has nothing to do with him. And so the less of that baggage that's there, the more you can see like some of his sincerity and some of his innocence that before you couldn't see. And that part of him is like endearing for you and pleasant. So cool. I think too that safe astral location stuff helps you. You could repeat that once it's its own chapter. I don't know if you heard it when we were doing it. So yeah, safe astral location. There'll be an explaining section for it, for the healing, and then the doing part is during the healing. So good. I'm glad you feel lighter. And yeah, I always think that's kind of fun when people don't remember when the healing is, and then they had a really good day and they're like, oh, the healing was today. That's fun. So it says, thank you, Janet. I feel like this healing opens up in so many different ways. Safe astral healing was fun. Eyes healing was grounding. Taking back learning was self-assertive and clear perception. Yeah, plus those gallbladder points we did, because the gallbladder meridian helps with self-assertiveness. So we did a little bit of the gallbladder meridian. We did 1 through 14, but extra on gallbladder 1 and gallbladder 14. And that was in the eye section, even though some of those points probably don't help the eye. It was just fun. Couldn't help myself. So yeah, I'm glad you liked the mix that we had today. Someone says, thank you, Janet. I can literally feel my 4th chakra is working better now after we've... Oh, it's already been 30 minutes. That's a trip. Thank you, Janet. I can literally feel my 4th chakra is working better now after we've done the eyes work. That's interesting. That is interesting, isn't it? That is. It could be that it helped your clairvoyance, so then you're able to see blocks subconsciously and you cleared a whole bunch of extra blocks just because your vision opened up more. Also, I'm curious if the energy blocks like denial can cause bad eyesight. Yeah, so you're talking about physical eyesight, and can denial impact it? Can energy blocks impact it? I think they could. I think, like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, if you're really good with energy healing, then you'll have no physical body issues. You know, there was this one, I think she was actually a healer, but she was like, she was saying like, oh, don't go to a reader that has any physical issues whatsoever because you know that they're not, you know, with spirit or some shit. Like, it's like, oh, shut up. It's like, just because someone can, you know, have abilities and, you know, serious, legit abilities doesn't mean that, you know, all other things in there, they're not like a deity, you know? They still have, their body will still age, you know, maybe slower than some people, but their body will still age and they will still have, you know, physical issues that they have because of past life baggage and whatever. It's not like, you know, anyway, so I disagree with that whole thing of like, your reader's not a real person, they're perfect. But anyway, that's not what you're saying, of course. But yeah, I think energy blocks could impact physical functioning of anything. So eyes, joints, back, all that stuff. And also energy blocks can impact how you think about yourself and how you think about aging. So like you could have, if you clear certain baggage, you could become much more motivated about your own physical fitness and wellness, and then you could change your eating patterns and your exercise patterns or lack thereof, and your sleep patterns. And so I think that physical energy blocks can impact a lot of different things. I don't know that, if you clear blocks, we'll see. We did eyesight work today, so you can listen to the intro, on Sunday in the second healing and see. I might mention, the results that different people had about the eye healing. I mean, I would hope that it could have a physical, clear impact, but I'm not sure. It would depend on the person. I don't expect that if I heal my eyes enough, I won't need reading glasses. That would be great, but I don't expect that personally. Someone says Matcha Samurai is funny. Oh, good. Did you already know about Matcha Samurai? Let me know if you already knew Matcha Samurai on YouTube, or if you just looked him up because of what I said. I'd be curious. Someone says, my Japanese school luckily allowed me to wear a ponytail. Ha ha ha. That's funny. Well, have you, I mean, because, you would know, have you heard that that's a thing in Japanese schools these days? I mean, is that just unusual, or does that surprise you? What do you think? Is that a big thing in Japanese culture I mean, I guess, a lot of people think a woman's neck is, more sexy, I guess. People have some people are into legs or butt or breast or neck or whatever. Who knows? People have little things, feet. But anyway, well, that's good perspective. Thank you for sharing your experience with your Japanese schooling. So you were allowed to be risque and wear a ponytail in grade school. Does this feel tight in my forehead? I think my dad and I are arguing on the astral. Yeah, that is accurate. Good job. We might be courting each other with whacking too. Yeah. We had an argument 6 hours ago about another water leak from neighbor costing us money. Is that in the place with the smoker and everything? I've been frustrated with his obstinate attitude and have a hard time letting go when I think he is making bad decisions and I am responsible for sorting it out. Yeah, that is awkward. Will call my energy back from him. I am less upset with neighbor, more with him. Yeah, what he does is I think what frustrates you the most is he's not clean about like the tasks he gives you. You know how you said you have to sort it out? It's like he'll have these big, like, almost like, in those Bible stories with God gave Moses these commandments on stone tablets or something. I don't know what the thing is that Moses carved it out on stone tablets or whatever. But it's like that. You kind of get these stone tablets from your dad about what you're supposed to do, and then they're in your space, and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, how can I have a life with him doing this? And so it's what he's dumping in your space. It's not exactly the task that is inconvenient, although that is, but that's like 10% of the inconvenience. The 90% of the inconvenience is the dumping. So you can just take whatever he dumped and give it to your angels. And you could do that every day because he's a big dumper. Your mom used to be, but she seems to be more, I don't know, something she's doing in her life is making her more less fixated on other people. So yeah, it's the dumping. You can be a bit of a dumper with me. Not lately though, thankfully. But you've been a pretty consistent dumper over the years. But it's okay. I mean, I understand. You know, I just give it to the angels. But just FYI. Let's see, were you a dumper in your recent past life? No. I think you've learned it from your dad in this life. It's funny. So yeah, you're a dumper with him actually, now that I look at it. So you could call back what you've dumped in his space, because that just like makes him more likely to dump with you. I would say more than courting. You guys court each other, but more than that, it's the dumping. So you'll dump heavy stuff in his space and he'll dump heavy stuff in your space. His stuff that he dumps in your space is, you have to do this, you have to do this. Don't forget this. You know, you should remember this. This is important in life, blah, blah, blah. Whereas what you dump in his space is, leave me the hell alone. I have a life. You are suffocating me. You're the worst father ever. You're a total jerk. I hate you. So it's that kind of stuff that you dump in his space. But it's the same thing. It's just real heavy, heavy, heavy. So you just make a, gold object, call back all the junk that you've dumped in his space, and then just, destroy it, clean it. Don't bring it back into yourself. Just, melt it all away with cold light. But yeah, so that could be really interesting to work that for a couple of days, like even just twice a day. You could do it with each family member if your motivation is really high. That could be really interesting. Sometimes your sister's been a dumper in your space, and you haven't really dumped in your sister's space in a while, but you used to. And same with you and your mom. It's not so much these days, but you used to. You both used to. So interesting stuff. So yeah, good read on that situation. Very accurate. Very cool. So yeah, you could just, I think if you get rid of the stuff that he dumped in your space and you call back the stuff that you dumped in his space, then it won't be like such a pull for you to stay in an argumentative state with him and in a negative astral location. It'd be easier to just be like, okay, reset your tone and reset your mind and move on with your day. Does that make sense? Someone else says, thank you. Very helpful to know about the wall. Yes, the white, like white. If there's like a brick wall and people paint it white, which I never really like, but different story. What's wrong with brick? What's wrong with brick? Anyway, yeah, these white walls from your mom that are blocking you from bringing in your goals and dreams that you take back. It seems like I feel separate from a lot of things, maybe because of my mom's energy. Yeah. Sometimes it's your dad's energy. Sometimes it's your mom. Like, they have different things that they try to shield you from. But yeah, when your dad shields you from stuff, it's like, tends to be a black wall. And then when your mom shields you from stuff, it's a white wall, typically. So yeah, very accurate read. I will also look into Mind Garden, not Mild Garden, Mind Garden. Hopefully that was just autocorrect. Autocorrect always doesn't like, chakras and all the energy words. Mind Garden and what sounds like rad blocks, resistance, avoidance, denial blocks. Yeah, well, that's always a good thing to do. Someone says, does not surprise me. Oh, about the Japanese school and the ponytails. It is a thing in Japanese school. That is funny. We were not allowed to have bangs past our eyebrows. LOL. That is funny. Very specific. Somebody said, like, I don't know. I don't think that's true in Japan though. I think in Japanese schools the skirts the uniform skirts have to be near your knee maybe. But I think in South Korea sometimes like the skirts can be like really short, but then they have other like codes of conduct about, the rest of the body, but it seems like it just doesn't count. Like showing like most of your leg is like not considered scandalous, but then all this other stuff is. But different cultures have different perceptions of different parts of the body, I guess. It's fun to learn all that stuff. Someone says, I'm hearing people say that they can see themselves on the astral. I've been doing work with you for several years and don't see that for myself. What's up? Well, I mean, everybody's different. I mean, I think maybe it's not constructive to say, well, this other viewer that you have. I mean, I have people that are pro readers that are clients. I have people that have been doing this for, people that are different spiritual ages. That's an odd thing. I can't really compare you to every client that I have. I don't think it's a good headspace. I'm not gonna go there. But I mean, if I take out of that something that maybe would be productive, it sounds like you're saying that you would like to read some of what you're doing on the astral or where your astral body is. And how would you go about beginning to do that? Maybe that's the constructive framing that I would suggest. So I mean, just work on it. Journal while you meditate and just think about it. Think about like, when you could compare and contrast. Sometimes compare and contrast is a nice reading device, so you can compare like a day when, even a part of the same day when you were in a really good mood to a part of that day when you were like you couldn't focus to save your life, and just look at where was your astral body both those times. Just imagine it. Was it like you were in a place on the your astral body was in a place on the astral that looked like a messy room with piles everywhere, or did it look like a meadow, or did it look like a stream that was calming? Where did it look like? And was it the place that was ideal that your angels had suggested, or you just maybe didn't listen to them and they suggested a better location? So I would say that's how you would begin to look at that kind of stuff. And you could redo the chapter of the healing where we worked on astral locations, safe astral location. There's an explaining there will be an explaining chapter before the healing started, where I explained safe astral locations and I explained astral body, in case you didn't hear that one. And then during the healing, there's a doing section where we cleared baggage. So the more you work it, the more you're, more you're comfortable with that kind of thing. So happy adventuring. Someone says, I wonder if Janet has ever said how she feels about 12-step. Is it too negative or is it constructive? 12-step program. So you're talking about for alcoholism or addiction, stuff like that? Like Alcoholics Anonymous, that kind of thing? I don't have a lot of experience with it. I know, yeah, so I'm not really, I don't have a set opinion on it. I think stuff like that can be helpful for some people and can be overly, can be not helpful for somebody else. I don't have a snap judgment on it, like it's always good or it's always bad. I think you can be in an environment where people suggest rules and suggest, a pathway, and you can do that in a healthy way. So it can be a healthy thing for people. I did go to Alcoholics. What was it? It was like families of alcoholics. I think it's, I don't know if it's the regular AA meetings that the family members go to, or there's a separate, they call it something different. But I did go to a couple, maybe at least 2 meetings, or maybe just 1. I don't remember. Because my first husband was a raging alcoholic. Raging, not necessarily angry, but just like really overboard alcoholic. At the time that we were married. I don't know how he is now, but so they help loved ones sort of understand the addiction and what might be healthy for them as far as thinking about it, and and in childhood I had experiences with people. The people are still living, so I don't want to harm their privacy, but I've had experience with people with addiction, and so I think that the general idea of like, it's not your fault, because kids tend to think everything's their fault, and if they're perfect, then something's going to change with somebody who has an addiction. And it's just like, and sometimes the person with the addiction can play head games with that and be like, well, it's your fault that I'm doing this. So I think that's healthy, that can be helpful, to be around people that can discuss that with you, like that it wasn't your fault, that someone in your life had an addiction, or whatever. So but I don't have a lot of experience with that kind of thing, so I can't say. But if you had a specific question about a situation, you could post it under a video and I would take a look at it later. This is, I don't quite get it. Do we read astral location just like we read our energy so we can intuit it too? Yes. I mean, you can intuit it or you can like visualize it. So I don't want to read you now because then other people might try to read you and that's a little overly private. So if I read just trying to not choose a political figure. Yeah, I think it's too personal for me to read astral locations for anybody. But I'll just read some examples and not say who. Like, you can be in a place where, there's water and you're just sitting there and your angels are talking to you and it's very calming. Or you can be in a place that's kind of like a busy city with lots of noise and chaos. Or you can be in a place that's, like a really quiet meadow with like little crickets chirping and stuff. Or, a place with like 20 different conversations happening, so it's really hard to focus. Or an astral location that's good for like creating music and thinking about creativity and brainstorming and stuff. So, there are a lot of different, but yes, you can intuit it or you could visualize it. Alcoholics Anonymous, yes, Al-Anon. So like I said, I have limited experience with that stuff, but I think it could be constructive for some people for sure. I think though, whenever you're in a place where, even in a religion or something like this, you just want to clean everybody out of your space so that you're thinking and you're understanding and you're learning on your own and nobody's like brainwashing you. So, because sometimes people, when they try to teach or inspire or help, they could accidentally be invasive. And so they put little pieces of their energy, like they put the rules in your space, in your chakras. And it doesn't necessarily help you, because then someday you clear it all out and then you might revert to your old behaviors. So if you just, like when you, after you go to a meeting like that, or some situation where people are teaching like this, just wash, your teacher out of your space, wash all their knowledge and information out of your space, their rules, everything about them, uncord from them. So it's just you. And ideally, while you're in the class too, just like be you. Just ask you could bring your angels with you. Say, angels, come on with me so I can have healthy boundaries. And that way you're learning, you're observing, you're participating maybe in whatever discussions are happening, but it's you get to think, and there's no, brain chips put in. So, hope that makes sense. All right. So we talked about so much, from ponytails in Japanese schools to Alcoholics Anonymous to, see what else, to parents and children that dump on each other, to what else, to career decisions. Sorts of good. All right, cool. So you guys are awesome. I guess I could do a quick garden update. Garden and pet update. Okay. I'll change the backdrop. All right. So, okay, first garden update. Oh, these are bean leaves. Oh, that's interesting. I don't like them as much. Nasturtium. These are leaves from a bunch of bean plants I grew that were like purple beans, and the leaves were pretty cool looking. You see the bean leaves? See, they're pretty. But no, I don't want bean leaves. I want nasturtium leaves. Yeah, because here you can see ladybugs. I didn't buy any ladybugs this year. I was kind of like discouraged because they didn't come back. I thought they should, enough of them should be able to overwinter that I would have a lot of ladybugs this year, but I don't. I've only seen a very small number, like maybe 2 or 3 so far. But I did, so I wasn't sure about buying ladybugs again because it's not cheap, when you pay for shipping and everything. But I did buy green lacewings, which are kind of cool looking. I mean, I shouldn't be choosing them based on how cool they look though, but I confess that does influence me. But you're supposed to get them just to, because they get rid of pests. Because there's some they're called cabbage aphids that are eating our kale. Not all of it, but I think if I look into the pH needs for kale and maybe adjust the pH for my kale, maybe that'll help. But anyway, so we have some cabbage aphids. So I bought a whole bunch of eggs or green lacewings, and they, in their larva state, do eat a lot of aphids of different types. So hopefully that helps. But it's sort of interesting because some people say use insecticidal soap, and spray it on the bugs. But then other people say, no, don't use any soap because the beneficial insects will, if they're not there at the time, it won't hurt them, but there's some residue, and so they might not want to be around the residue of the insecticidal soap. But other people say, no, it's fine, it's great. It only hurts the bad bugs on direct contact, and so then it's great afterwards, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know about that. So haven't made my final decision on the insecticidal soap, or not. But I did buy the green lacewing eggs, and I have to set those out in the garden so they can hatch. It takes like a week or more for them to hatch. They just got here yesterday, so gotta get going with that. But then what else? That's it so far. I mean, I have the Take Back Your Dreams part that we did in the second healing of the triplet set this month. I did the clear evidence of that helping my gardening, actually. It helped. Well, I think a couple of things helped my gardening, but that was definitely one of them, because I think I was able to make 2 different plantings in the break in between sets that kind of like I felt like I had wanted to do for a long time, the way I did them and that I did them, and I still have to wood chip them. And I bought this rolling wood chip spinner that sifts the wood chips more easily than just shaking this manual sifter thing. I think I partially hurt my fingers, maybe my wrist, because I was using this sifting screen, and it's it's very laborious to sift wood chips that way. I have this old remnants of a big wood chip pile that's now just a little bit at the bottom, and it's like over a year old at least. So the bottom, it's sort of a mix of like really good soil plus wood chips. So you got to sift it to get the good soil, and then just have wood chips that you use as mulch. So anyway, so I went ahead and I paid like $300 or something, just under $300 to get this rolling wood chip spinner so I could stop injuring myself. And so that's good. I haven't been able to use it yet. Maybe I'll use it today, but I don't know if I'll have time because I got to do all these timestamps and stuff. So worst case, I'll use it tomorrow for the first time, which will be able to sift out my wood chips and get good soil and get good wood chips. I have a big wood chip pile on order, but it's like a free website, so you have no control over when it comes. So, but in the meantime, I'm getting all the good remnants out of the current wood chip piles. Kind of works out. The delay kind of works out, ironically. What else? The tomatoes. I have to fertilize the tomatoes because I think they're due for a growth spurt. They're growing too slowly for me. That's sort of unfortunate. Some years they grow, it seems like some years they grow faster than others. So they're a little slow growing, which is a little troubling. Because, I want tomatoes. So I'll have to fertilize them. I tried to fertilize them at the start, but I like poured it on the leaves. And I think even though it was like natural stuff that was supposed to not hurt them, I think they didn't like it. So I'll be careful and just fertilize right around the base of the plant. But so the garden is interesting. I have these perennial plants that, that I'm doing these plantings in. And so I got to clear out the area and then prepare the soil and make it good soil. And then I got to put the plants in, then I got to mulch it on the top. And there are a lot of areas in my front yard, even just my front yard, not to mention my backyard, that need that stuff. And so but I'm trying to, this year I'm trying to not take it so seriously, because it's like, I think last year I got really stressed about, thinking about all that I want to do and that I wasn't doing. And, it can be paralyzing and it's not fun at all that way, so I'm trying to be like, well, anything that I do is better than nothing, and not put so much pressure on myself, because it's supposed to be like a fun hobby, for God's sakes. Somehow I make it so serious for no reason. So working on being less serious, more productive yet less serious. So that's where I'm at with gardening. Pet update, not much. I mean, Izzy, our dog, you can see him right there. I'll show you him more, and then I'll talk about it. There he is. Sorry about my hand shaking. Let's see. There we go. Too bad my webcam doesn't have a zoom feature. That would be fun. Anyway, there he is. He's asleep, which is cool. And he has this little blue ducky. This little blue stuffed toy thing. Used to be a squeaker toy, but it doesn't squeak anymore. But anyway, so things are pretty decent with him and Boo Boo Kitty, our cat. He doesn't chase her most of the time. I mean, there was this one point where he saw her and she was running and he like sped up for a couple steps, but then he stopped. So it's pretty good. Like he could have followed her and he didn't. So, and she's getting a little more bold. She loves when the sliding glass door, it like when we have a screen for the sliding glass door and there are no holes in it or anything. So if we like on a warm day, we'll open the screen, the sliding glass, the glass part of it, and just leave the screen part. And she loves that. She loves like going up there and looking out. I think because, she likes observing outside and it's great because she knows she's safe inside, but she gets to see everything. And so she'll just like keep watching. Pretty cute. So she'll do that at night, like when we're eating dinner. If we have the slider, screen there, she'll keep going there and just staring, But so she still won't let us pet her or anything, but she's getting more comfortable. She sat on the couch one night when we were really late in eating dinner because we hadn't fed her, yet, and because we eat when she eats, or she eats when we eat, and but we hadn't eaten yet, and it was so late, and so she came and she sat on the couch while she was waiting for us, which she's never done before. She's never sat on the couch while we were awake and around, to see it. So the little steps. It was cute. So that's it. That's enough. All right. So you guys are amazing. Hope you're having a good summer so far, and don't worry about being perfect or enjoying it perfectly, and try not to think about, oh, everyone else is so happy and I'm not, or everybody is so clairvoyant and I'm not. That's just, you're gonna screw yourself that way. Just think about where you're at and love yourself, and try to make baby steps forward. That's all you got to do. Alrighty. Well, you're amazing. Bye.